close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns.
So I do think that OG definitely has a leg up here in terms of drafting.
Yeah, I'm very eager to see what OG's first pick is going to be, because like you said, they've been going all over the place. It was Bane one game, Magnus one game, and Marcy one game, Brewmaster one game. They were going all over the place. Right now, though, bans filtering in, and this is a little bit of a mix between, well, mostly support bans. Pango, Disruptor, Io, Chen taken out. Gaimin, they take out the Luna and the Morphling.
10 seconds remaining.
I think it's a little unknown where Gaimin goes for carries as well. Drakto's hero pool has always been a little different, and he obviously has some weaknesses, but he has some really strong strengths as well. I think he's the best carry for rotating from a safe lane to make action happen in the enemy safe lane. He uses Twin Gates better as a carry, I think, than others. And one hero he's been reliably using that a lot of other teams, some teams are doing it, but the CK is something they picked at least twice so far. Just really strong laning hero. Basically helps you really make the enemy offlaner's game hard. You kill him like 3 times in lane, then you transition. So I could definitely see a CK for Gladiators as well.
Right off the top, though, they ban out the Shadow Demon, and they take a Bat Rider.
Yeah, they're no stranger on Gaimin to this Bat Rider opening. They do go for it whenever they can, just for the sake of lane security and a comfortable hero for Celery, because he has been doing very well on it. And we've seen the importance for Gaimin of securing these 2 side lanes, because often what this team does is after the laning stage, they just 3-man around Quinn, right? And in order to be able to build that 3-man, you need to have won your side lanes at least with a slight advantage, so that you can just focus on that mid lane. So Bat Rider is hopefully one of those heroes who sets up to do that for Gaimin.
The Playmaker supports. OG go for the Whisper Classic. He's been really doing work on this Brewmaster just so far at this event, and no surprise that they go for it again.
This hero's been high win rate for like 5 patches now in pubs. I'm always surprised when it's not getting picked competitively. I mean, I guess because there have existed lane counters to it before that were very strong. Like I know Slark is a very popular, good lane counter to the Brew, but it's just not super popular right now. But ever since like the Radiance buff, the multitude of Radiance buffs, Brew is like the best offlane Radiance builder in the game. So it feels so strong.
He's like an offlane hero that like really benefits from the quick Talisman of Evasion, actually. Now that it's 20% evasion once you buy it, and you've got evasion from your passive.
Stance.
Switch to that Storm Stance, you throw the Cinder Brew, you got that extra 20 that drops whatever's left 20 lower. It's just a really nice transition, and Whisper is one of the best for sure. But yeah, the double Bracer Radiance, almost every game. Sometimes they do Urns. Skill builds are kind of all over the place. Everyone does it a little bit different, but yeah, it's a fun hero to see.
I will say another thing about Brew is that like I find this when I'm drafting in pubs, that I'm looking at the enemy lineup and I just think like this would be a great Brew game, but it's really boring, so I'm not going to play it. Like I think that the heroes that people are picking right now, Brew is just good against. Like it's heroes that like, you know, some Sven you want to throw, or Luna who's like top net worth by a huge margin, you just want to like throw up in the air, something like that. Like there's some reason for Brew to exist in a game where it feels really good. So I'm glad to see OG prioritizing it.
It just feels like the teamfight ability of Brew is really what carries this hero, because I've seen this hero lose lanes. Like yesterday, I think we saw 3 Brewmasters and they lost lane in most of those games, but what happens is that Brew hits level 6 with a support like a Marcy. They'll bring in +1 rotation, and then with that Primal Split, they'll kill the enemy carry and take the tower. And you just get your comeback from the lane off of that, right? And people are picking these Lunas and Svens that you're talking about a lot. In fact, they're picking it as a counter to Brew, right? Because they think, okay, I'll get BKB, I'll kill the Brewlings. So we've seen a little bit of that go 50-50, but for the most part, if you are Brew, you can play the map in so many ways. If the enemy carry is farmed enough to kill your Brewlings, what do? You just go split push. We saw Whisper play so much split push Dota yesterday.
Yeah, that's actually the funny thing about Brewmaster so far this tournament. I've seen Brew splits get RP'd so many times. Like they're using this crazy BKB piercing teamfight ulti just to shut down the teamfight impact that Brewmaster brings. It's pretty wild.
They end up going up with a Muerta after that. I thought they were just going to continue ramming in Ahri's Marcy, but instead they go in a different direction.
He does only play the new heroes though, because he's relatively new to Dota.
Of course, that must be.
Yeah,
he is the expert.
He hasn't unlocked all the heroes yet. He hasn't played long enough, you know.
He needs to pay more Valve points.
Yep.
This Marcy's a little bit of a question to me, because yesterday when we saw Ahri... This Muerta's a bit of a question to me, because when we saw Ahri play it yesterday, it was in response to Phoenix. So there's already this idea of we're going to put the Muerta support versus Phoenix on lane, and then we're going to have a means to threaten that hero with the silence. But with just the Bat Rider, I don't see that much value coming out of it. It could just be another OG specialty, and they want to make a carry support that maybe not other teams are playing good. They did that with Marcy. They're brute forcing into drafts. They might try to do that with Murta again, which a lot of teams may consider a dead hero.
I think that's exactly what they're doing. Like at many previous tournaments, I've talked to Ari. I think we've both been in the conversation with him, and he says, like, if you're going to give me my hero, I will keep picking it until you ban it. Like, he likes that conceptually, and he has the confidence. He thinks he's good enough that he can play it into anything and make people ban it. Like, he wants to be that force in the draft.
Yeah, that was his hoodwink dynamic during Dream League. Gaming Gladiators now pick up a Weaver and an Enchantress. Duracio's definitely been leaning on the Weaver quite a bit recently. And we just actually saw Liquid do an exceptional performance in Sanya on the Enchantress, so I'm happy to see this hero return.
I like the Weaver against Brew. It's just one of those. Brew doesn't have the best hard disable basically, so Weaver can basically get out of a lot of danger that he has to deal with. The silence against Murta, that's a little bit spooky. But between throwing bugs on the Brew split and having Enchantress, like, he's going to have a good game, and he's going to be very powerful at rotating, and he can itemize towards solving those problems later on.
I think Weaver's also a little like Brew in the fact that he's been high win rate for many patches and very underrated. Like, the people that do play it, have you guys played against a late game Weaver with the Shard? He hits you with 3 Geminate attacks with like some Daedalus. You die from full HP in literally like a fraction of a second. It's bullshit.
I was under the impression that was mainly viable with the Revenant's Brooch build.
No, you can go Deso build is what most people do because you one-shot the entire creep wave with a Sakuchi and a Deso.
It's also a hero that you just leave alone, right? Because earlier we were talking about the 3-man ball that Gaimin love to play, where they'll bring both their supports and play around Quinn. For that to happen, you need sustaining carries that can sit on their own without much protection. And Weaver, after he secures lane, he's very safe, right? He has very low cooldown mobility spell, he has invisibility, and he has that time lapse to get him out of sticky situations. So I like this hero a lot conceptually for Gaimin.
In that line of thinking, then for Gaimin, I think like is Centaur ban? No, Centaur would be very good. You run out of the Brew split and disengage there. Obviously, Muerta has a ground targeted slow that Centaur can also run out of. Then it's a hero to ball with the bat and the Enchantress.
You can also run your whole team at maximum speed into the Chronosphere if you want to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. You can cart somebody out of the Chronosphere though.
Oh,
Ether Lens cart, really worth.
And the cart doesn't
7,000 gold.
turn into dust somehow.
No, it doesn't.
Stronger than time.
Yeah.
It's very good craftsmanship.
Yeah, that rickety wooden thing is really just it's a decoy. Faceless Void is going to be the carry of choice for Tomato, and he will be most likely supported by a Seb Crystal Maiden.
And the Void makes a lot of sense, right? Because it's a counter to Weaver, Purge.
Yes, Chronosphere, very good against really
Time
forced me
dilation.
into that one. Time dilation also very good. 2 ways to really put a wrench in his plans.
What were you
Wow,
saying
Crystal
about
Maiden is a great
Crystal Maiden?
pick. Tell me all the reasons why, Mira. Go ahead.
Mira, thoughts on Maiden?
I mean, Crystal Maiden is going to provide a lot of mana for these heroes, right? And it's a strong lane support because you want to have the ability to fight into the strength of either the Enchantress or the Bat Rider, right? So CM is one of the heroes that you can definitely benefit from her kill potential on lane. If you're a Void, you get that level in time dilation, you've got 2 nukes to play off of, and the aura is going to be very useful later on, as I said, because Brew is going to be more mana dependent as the game progresses.
They need to ban Coddle on Gaimin.
Also, you bite the creep, right? Whatever creep Enchantress comes with, you just bite it and then
you
dies.
can follow her.
Very
About
useful.
the Cuddle ban you just mentioned, I feel like we have seen that a lot. Whenever there's a Leshrac on one team, the other team bans Cuddle. Is that the case? Is that like a counter?
It's the highest win rate core-to-core matchup against Leshrac.
Is it like you Spirit Vessel him so he can't lifesteal, and then you keep him slowed away from your whole team?
Yeah, it's like, Leshrac needs to be close to you, and Coddle just never enters fights. You also do very well against him in lane. You're going to
push him back with Blinding Light too.
Yeah, exactly. And the natural Vessel builder, you'll build like Vessel BKB. You'll never die to the Lesh. They ban out the Invoker. That's another Vessel builder. Typically, that's what people will play into the Lesh.
Can Brewmaster delay his Radiance and get the Vessel instead, or you compromise too much?
For sure. That always feels bad on Brew. You really want the Radiance. It's just so convenient. But I think against Lesh, you definitely want to do that.
Not just Lesh, Enchantress too, right? The Vessel's very good against her. And he did see Whisper do that yesterday, actually. He did go Vessel into Radiance in at least one of the games we saw that.
You have to.
I think Celery built it on CM one game too. that he was doing really good. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they're ready to buy that item for sure, and especially against the Lesh. Nobody's really. There's been a couple cases of like Lesh IO, not going to be this game. Obviously, that's the terrifying pairing that seems like nobody can beat. But Lesh by himself, there are ways to beat him, and Vessel is definitely the way.
Of all the offlaners in the pool right now, of which basically all of them, Underlord is the ban of choice from OG.
I'm Jack, dude. When he was talking about Axe in the interview, I was like, man, I wish Ace would play that hero once again. So I'm happy to see it banned. They have damage issues on OG. That's part of the problem. If you have a support Marta, she's doing damage, but not a huge amount. Brewmaster has some damage issues. Void can kill like one guy, but that's about it. And you need single target damage to kill Lesh. So if you slap an Underlord in there, Crimson Guard, Pipe, something, Greaves, it's going to be hard to kill. And the hero's probably not that bad against Void CM, I feel like.
No, it's not. I was thinking, like, anytime a Void comes out as an offlane player, you always look for, like, this hero has some pretty hard lane counters. Like, obviously, the Vipers and the Venos do very well. Any damage over time. Beastmaster is good if you go for the Boar build. Into CM, it's kind of bad. But as an offlaner, like, you're always baited into, okay, they have a Void. Well, let's pick one of these, like, slow poke damage over time heroes to counter it.
Though based off of Gaiman's comp, I feel like they need someone with a little more initiation.
Yeah, like a Mars would be good, but it's Ace. I've not liked him on. He's not a huge Mars player.
You mentioned the Beastmaster.
The Mars Radiance. Oh my God,
there it is.
Go.
There it is.
This is because his team's bad, and he can't rely on them to fall up on that Centaur stun.
I can't believe I didn't think of this one. That is a damage over time hero. Like
he's like, I want to get that Blade Mail Reflect kill to carry. That's his game plan here. He's going to be soloing Void all game, baby.
It's really good against Void.
And they can do Lasso into Call.
Well, actually, okay.
Into Stun from Lesh.
If the Void has like a little bit of a net worth advantage on the Axe, it's not actually good against Void because you get a Sanjin Yasha and then you survive the call and then you leap out. So it can go both ways. But Void also does a shitload of damage, so blade mailing it's obviously very good.
This Axe pick, it kind of puts the OG safe lane in danger, right? Because we already had... Puck is a great pick here. I was thinking that you need a mid laner that can counter the rotations that are going to happen. Because what's going to happen on this Axe Enchantress lane is Axe is going to push it in. They're going to be playing under tower on CM Void. And you can rotate in your Bat Rider, you can rotate in whichever... Oh, Celery's playing Enchantress. You can rotate in your Enchantress later with the creep. And then you're going to need a mid laner who can help you when that's happening. When 3 heroes are playing under your safe lane tower, it has to be something like a Void Spirit or a Puck that can just TP in and punish that.
And I actually really like Axe against CM. I think there was a TI where we started seeing this because Axe is kind of a CM counter. You do damage just by being alive, and it's physical and pure, right? So the CM's going to take tons of battle hunger damage. She has really low armor. She has terrible movement speed. Like it's a good matchup.
She feeds in lane for sure to this. I also really like the Puck because of the reasons that you mentioned, Mira, but also because there's just other than the Axe, there's like no disable for the Puck. It's like it's fairly easy to phase shift dodge a blink lasso. Like unless it's out of smoke, like that's a fairly projected thing. Even the Axe, like getting the taunt off before the phase shift is a little bit difficult. So I feel like it, and then obviously with Enchantress support, like Puck should never die to this with like an Enchantress rotation. As long as they can defend the lane at the 5-minute mark, which they can with the Crystal Maiden, they can freeze the creep. Like the Puck is just happy to be against Enchantress in the game.
Yeah, there's some threats later though. Like you could go Yules on Lush and you can threaten the Puck. You can just later on Bat Rider when you get the blink, you could also potentially be a threat. And it's not the same as something like a reliable disable, but it's not completely unsolved within GG's draft. The thing about GG's draft though is that they need to play super aggro and they need to crush the bottom safe lane. And if they do that, they have a really, really good tempo, especially with the carry Weaver that comes online so early. But if OG can counter the rotations, protect that bot lane, I think that their late game scaling is honestly way better.
Yeah, it should be easier for them to take a fight because if they just get like Brew split off and they chrono like 1 or 2 important heroes and they don't get like Lasso Call, Earth Split killed some core, then they're just going to be able to outplay the team fights, I feel like.
I agree that OG's draft it's a lot easier to pull off in the late game, but I see Axe as like a very playmakey type hero where if you're like really sick at it, you can snowball a game or you can like call 3 people or call a snowballing Void with the blade mail and the right opportunity and you can turn the game. So I think even if the game goes late, there are options for Gaiman. It's just they have to do really cool shit to get there.
Well, it was teased in the interview, and Ace is going to deliver it. Let's see if he gets a win on it. Let's get ready for game number 1 with Sunsfan and Cinderin.
Hello, everybody. Sunsfan here with Why do you always laugh in my intros? These are very serious. Yes.
intros for a very serious tournament, for a very serious series between OG and Gaimin Gladiators. OG's 3-1 in the group stage, Cinderin. Gaimin, the opposite, 1-3. What will happen? Tell us everything before it happens
Okay.
to prove your worth.
Yes.
Why are you invited to these tournaments?
I don't know. Must have been luck. Well, I feel like the panel kind of covered it quite well. I look at this Gaming Gladiators lineup and I see a lot of their... Okay, hang on. Wait, are they actually going to find an angle here? This is a pretty interesting smoke path from OG, so I'll hold my horses for a moment. See if they get in behind. In the meantime, Tomato will break Gaming Gladiators out.
Yeah. This is very interesting. OG,
This is not an angle that Tofu is likely to expect here.
watch out for that dead shot from Ari.
Oh, he's in trouble.
Now he sees him. The slows are there. Illusory Orb and Seb on the other side to block. Only question is who is getting the first blood? Blood grenade as well, and it will be Seb on the Crystal Medine. First blood for you. Congratulations to Seb. Can now retire for the 12th time in his career.
Yep.
A happy man.
He'll be back tomorrow. Yeah, so Gaimin, they have some of their really classic stuff, right? Celery on his Ench. They're playing a tempo carry. This time it's going to be the Weaver by Duracho. You have Tofu on his bat. The Leshrac is also a Gaming Gladiator staple. So I feel like they're running some very, how to say, some of their characteristic heroes, but maybe not necessarily in the pairings that they have had the most success with. I think the Weaver Ench has been very good for them, but oftentimes their good Lesh games are with Io, for example. The X is a little bit of a curveball. OG are playing what I would consider overall more meta for this patch. You know, strong team fight with the Brewmaster, Puck, and the Void. So it's a clash of styles. And we've seen Gaming Gladiators take over games of this type in like 20 minutes, especially with their Ench. So really that top lane for me is the lane to watch. Can Celery and Duracho get off to one of their incredible starts with this type of lane? And OG are already trying to counteract it by just straight up pulling the wave. Like Ari just said, nope, we're not going to play this lane normally. They'll pull it between the towers. And funnily enough, bottom lane looks like to be a similar situation. So nobody really wants to lane.
All right, let's talk about Axe, the only hero that actually matters in this game, Cinderin, because it's not picked literally every game like all these other heroes. How do you like it this game?
I think it's pretty good. I think it's very good against Void, and it has its moments against Muerta, but she's obviously being played as a support here, so not as important. It's all right. I think what often is the problem for Axe is if his laning stage goes bad, I feel like his recovery curve is very steep, but when you see a Faceless Void, you kind of know that you're going to have a good time, so I think that's already step one for Ace. And the other thing is, do you have some sort of strong follow-through for when you get a Blink call? If you can't solo kill the cores, who's going to help you? In this case, the Leshrac's pretty good. Weaver, being a tempo carry, is good at connecting on calls as well. Can easily reach the target you're on with Shukuchi and get a couple of swings in for the kill. So I think it's all right. I'm not like, wow, this is the best X game ever, but it's all right.
Well, we'll see how well it works this game. Hopefully it's amazing so we can see it a lot more. As Tomato, you can see right now, struggling a bit in the lane, only 6 CS so far.
Yeah, this is a tough one for Void.
And on the other side, the Weaver 10 and 5, so it's not that big of a difference yet. Still quite early on, but yeah, Void's one of those heroes, of course, that does get ramped up quite slowly. But the mid lane, you can see BZM 11 and 3 right now, as Quinn 16 and 6 on the Lesh. One of his patented heroes, Cinderin.
Yeah, you love to see
He
that.
invented it.
Yep.
It really bothers you when I say that.
No.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, nothing bothers you, but you know what I mean when I say that.
That is very incorrect.
For a robot, it bothers you. Go ahead.
I didn't know anything. Tomato's in a bit of trouble here. We'll actually apply the Battle Hunger on his way out. So, I mean, what often happens in these kind of lanes is that the carry, in this case the Void, will just be starved for regen. So you're going to have to start spending gold on the tangos for maybe both Seb and Tomato, because they're just going to constantly put pressure on him with Battle Hunger, with Flame Break. In this case, Tofu will even be adding a little bit more insult to injury here. We'll see who comes out on top of this exchange. Very awkward situation for both teams,
Someone's dying here. Tofu doing a lot of damage on his way out. Time dilation slows him down, but a time walk into the bash. Tomato will bring him down eventually. Does take a lot of damage, though.
It feels like an even trade to me. They lost a full wave, and they had to spend so many resources on getting that kill.
Yeah.
So it looked deliberate for Tofu to just drain resources away from them and keep them busy. Celery getting low, but we'll be okay. And for all intents and purposes, I actually think this top lane for OG is going quite well. You know, this is Ench Weaver. It's one of the strongest lanes that this team brings to the table. And Whisper on the Brewmaster, having the same CS as Weaver, is a good first 5 minutes. I'm going to put some pressure on Dyrachyo here. Nice dead shot.
Yes, Dyrachyo.
He will live.
Only level 4. Has Shikuchi to get away if he needs to, so just biding his time. Yeah, definitely a lot of pressure from OG. And Dyrachyo likely going to get healed here now. And we'll see how the rotations come for this 6-minute power rune. Of course, wherever Quinn goes is where the rune will actually spawn. We've learned that over thousands of games of Dota.
If you ask him, he will say he probably has 40%.
No, we actually did ask him on our very prestigious podcast, Cinderin, which
what did he say?
Happy 5-year anniversary.
45%.
No, he says that he's very lucky, actually, which is a very unusual for a mid laner to admit. So he actually will be getting this rune, like I said, 20 seconds away. Just keep track of that.
Okay.
And Tomato still struggling in the CS department.
This is ramping up quite rapidly now, right? Axe is doubling him up. Axe also very good at farming stacks.
Seb's making his way over here. Gets the frostbite. Ari's making his way there too. Quinn, I think, pretty much resigned to his death. Illusion Orb is going to be there, but BZM gets the better of him in the end, and now Tofu's in a lot of trouble. Coil's going to be expended. He's trying to take out BZM, but just out of reach. He's going to pop the Fairy Fire on BZM as well. Illusory Orb, not going to clip the Bat Rider, but Tofu will eventually drop. It's going to be the cost of Tofu, or Ari, I should say.
Uh-oh.
As BZM now, another Illusory Orb, dodges the Blood Grenade, gets the Bounty Rune, is going to likely survive now, unless that range creep grows very long arms. And Seb and BZM will both get away together, hand in hand, as BZM abandons him.
Good news for Quinn. He did pick up the 6-minute rune while dead in the fountain. So he's going to get that rune, as you said.
Told you.
Yeah, very good. This was quite the exchange here. Great overall for OG. Making the rotate. Oh, hang on, BZM. He should be okay here. Yeah.
Very cocky, though, I have to say.
I really like this dive. This is just vintage Gaming Gladiators, you know?
Just several TPs, though.
Forcing OG's hand a lot here. They will bring multiple heroes, as you said.
Calling.
Whisper, not 6 yet.
Whisper has the Thunderclap, so Quinn is dead. A lot of pressure applied to that tier 1, like you said, but it cost them their mid laner. Again, that's the second death in just about a minute.
Very good response, and it's very crucial for OG to find these kills as well, because on the CS they are definitely losing their lanes. So bringing the numbers to try to equalize things here and being successful. That will be the level 6 picked up for Whisper, and the earlier move from Seb was the level 6 picked up for BZM. Now they're going to try to help their next buddy. Bottom lane, BZM with a rotation on Coil, and Seb coming over too. Just beautiful movements really all around from OG, also finding the kill with Ari.
Yep, Ace in a 1v3 trying to get away, and Seb...
No mana on Seb
pretty
yet.
damn fast on Ace right now, I have to say. The chase is going to be long and arduous. Time dilation does clip him.
It does nothing.
It clips him. But he actually... Is he actually going to get away here? TP? Yes. Wow. Okay. Was not expecting that. Celery going to take the brunt of the primal split, and Whisper comes out of it, but the Thunderclap is enough to finish the job. Dyrachyo trying to get the trade, and he will do so with the help of the tower.
Not a good trade for Whisper at all. Using your ult to trade Ench against a kill for the Weaver, definitely not what he was looking for there. A quite uncharacteristic game state in this patch, right? It's 7-2 for the Radiant 9 minutes in, but they're behind 1k gold.
Yeah.
This is something we used to see a lot more in the past, but I feel like as of late, it's been very difficult for teams to win the lanes so convincingly on raw CS that the kill score at this point being this way is not a clear advantage for the team with the kills, but...
Yeah, forcing the time walk as Dyrachyo making his way over now, knowing that Tomato does not have his Chronos for either. He is chopped to the ground.
Donk him up!
And Ari looks to be next on the list. He actually is level 6, so does pop, pierce the veil. But eventually he will end up dropping as well. And the only question is, will it be another culling stack? Yes! Double kill for the red man. As Quinn looking to finish off this tier 1 tower mid with a Diabolic Edict, but BZM holding true, using that fortification, and the tier 1 tower still up and running for OG.
You just love, I mean, this is just a flashback, right, to when Gaimin were seemingly unbeatable for half a year. I feel like I'm watching one of those games right now.
That is true.
Just non-stop pressure. OG just keep teleporting to lanes to solve problems. Like,
Sorry, go ahead.
They're just actually putting out fires, right? It feels like OG have barely made an offensive move. Every kill they've got has been on TP rotations and coming in to help heroes under pressure. And while they have succeeded in a lot of these, the bottom line is still they are the ones under pressure constantly. They have barely had time to breathe in these 10 minutes, and it doesn't look like that's changing anytime soon. You've got Quinn constantly pressuring the mid tower. The Enchantress has taken bottom tower and is now invading the jungle. And she has a good friend in Dyrachyo who's not afraid, like they talked about in the panel, very aggressive, very mobile carry player.
All right, tower finally does die. Coil onto 2 as the Axe makes his rotation over, but Quinn taking a ton of damage. Whisper gets off the primal split, a dead Leshrac again. Seb will be the trade for now. Now Ace on the run, Illusory Orb clips 2. Tomato even makes his way over as well as Ace trying to get the call, but not going to find anyone. Ends up dying. Dyrachyo with a timed, okay. Time lapse did go off, but now the Chronosphere comes in, getting all 3 teammates in the area, but it results in a kill anyway. So Dyrachyo drops in addition, 3 for 1 in favor of OG.
Just once again bringing the numbers. That was a 5-on-4 fight. The whole time, Batrider not connecting. Would have been a difference maker there if Tofu was able to play with the team, but had already headed all the way up to top in the distance to mid was just too far, so... Tomato got level 6 during that, by the way. 11 minutes in on his carry Faceless Void. Whisper is toast, by the way.
Yes, he is.
Actually gonna lasso this one, interesting, but... Yeah, OG again. Keeping cool under pressure. I really want to commend them on their ability to combine their heroes, and having the level 5 Faceless Void there to begin with is quite uncharacteristic, right? But it turns into a big win for them to unlock that chrono. Just seeing the replay here. Quinn struggling to deal with the Brewmaster split for now. That will get easier over time, of course, as he starts getting, in particular, the Bloodstone will be a major help for that problem.
Yeah.
But here's that chrono from Tomato, very nicely done. Sure, he catches his entire team, but this was the only way to kill the Weaver. Doesn't matter.
Yep, he is forgiven.
Ace was trying to figure out what this chewing gum tasted like there. Something weird about it.
Tastes like saliva. It's been in my mouth all day. Goodness. So Radiant's obviously going to be pretty early item here for Whisper on the Brew.
Yeah, I could have made a case for going the Vessel when you're playing against Leshrac and Ench. There was a case for it, and even against the Axe too. But we'll opt for that. Faster Radiance, don't mind it. With how this game is playing out so far, I think he has to bridge the gap a little bit for Tomato to even get to play the game. Like he got that one good chrono that gave them a kill on the Weaver, but for the most part, this is recovery for quite a long time. Look at the absolutely poor net worth of the Void, almost the same as the enemy position for Bat. He is very far down the ladder here in 6th. And Void, not known to be a hero that comes back very well in terms of farming speed, oftentimes finds the comeback for team fights. Yeah, this is lovely.
That is orgasmic.
That is a dagger on the way.
Delicious.
For Ace, almost has it. Level 4 in the call now, one would imagine.
Are scanning.
Call. Of course, also, we didn't really talk about this, but we've seen a lot of, I feel like the Bracers and Nulls and Wraithbands have become even more popular. This is an axe that did not go Vanguard. So he went double Bracer and into Blade Mail, and this will be a really good timing on the Blink Blade Mail as a result here with the phase. Brewmaster.
Do they have the damage?
Probably gonna
Primal split does go off. And Whisper, oh man, the Pulse Nova is ripping right through him. Still sticking around though. Gets one more stun with the Urk Panda as Tomato comes in. Time dilation as well. More TPs coming in. Ace is ready, but the Chronosphere comes out. They have the damage to actually kill off the Lash. It's going to be close. Tomato has the Tomahawk away, but they do get the kill first as BZM gets basically soloed by Ace. And now Tofu in the midst of a TP, but gets right-clicked into Oblivion. Lone survivor is Seb for OG.
Oh dear, that did not work out the way they wanted. Just the perfect illustration of the state of the game for the Faceless Void. Tomato did no damage in that Chrono. We're gonna see the replay here, right there. I understand why they want to go for this here. It looks quite promising. They still have Primal Split for a while, but pay attention to this absolutely pitiful amount of damage coming out. And sure, they do get him in the end, but Tomato needs to expend the entire Chrono, and then there's no escape path afterwards, and Weaver is easily going to clean that one up, and OG cannot be happy with this development. On the kill score, it looks even, but this game
not
is
over
far
yet,
from.
apparently. Whisper dies again, close to his tier 2 tower. Seb gets off a decent ult with the coil being applied to several heroes. Might be the death of Celery, although he's living through it with the Nature's Attendance. And now Seb might pay the ultimate price. Ace comes in with another taunt, and down goes the Crystal Maiden. Oh, nice silence, though. Waning Rift is enough to get the right clicks off onto Dyrachyo. So OG gets something out of this dive, but still a 6K lead for Gaiman. And this is pretty scary territory for OG.
Yeah, the mindset for Gaming Gliders in this game is whenever Brew Split is on cooldown, I feel like they can just run at heroes. I think that's what they're saying internally right now. Okay, if they don't have Brew ult, and especially if they also don't have Chrono, just run them over around the map. Like, what does OG actually have in the tank to fight you with? Brewmaster doesn't have an item, Void has no farm. So effectively, you're dealing with a puck and a little bit of damage coming in from a potential Muerta ult. Aside from that, you just do whatever you want. And they're very much so trying to... You also see it in the warding, right? Like, very aggressive warding down the mid lane as well as in the Radiant side of the jungle to the bottom half, that they're trying to get information as much as possible about making aggressive movements and just maintaining and growing this lead. Holy shit, Ace is farmed. I mean,
yes,
I shouldn't be so surprised. It's Ace with a good matchup. This is standard. This is classic Ace stuff. This is only going to get worse, you would imagine.
Feels like old classic Ace from last year.
Yeah, that's...
As recently, it's not just Ace, of course, but Gaming Gliders have been okay. The call comes in, and the damage is more than enough. Gracious me, oh my. Ari will get out, but yeah, they lose a valuable member again from OG's side. Coil comes in from BZM, but more of a defensive measure, it feels like. It's the flame break from Tofu, trying to cover Quinn a bit here. He's taking a lot of damage, though. Gets pushed back. Pulse Nova starting to rip through them, but he dies anyway. 1 for 2 in favor of Gaiman for the time being. So they do have the damage to get through Quinn.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
We'll see if Gaiman want to get a little bit more aggressive now. Looks like Eternal Shroud is going to be on the side of Ace soon enough.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, right? Look at the matchups that he has. There's no serious right-click damage to worry about. There's so much magical damage from the puck, from the Radiance coming in. Of course, the CM and Muerta also largely magical, so this is going to allow him to play way more aggressively. Oh man, Tomato.
Oh, Tomato has to use Chrono. Oh.
Yeah. Is he even living from this? I guess he can find a path to his base. Tofu's close. Oh, he's fucked.
Call, chop. Goodbye,
well.
Tomato. That's a squashed Tomato. Cherry Tomato.
Lovely.
Whisper. He's now going to get gone on. Split Earth and Lasso, not the greatest of layering, but the call comes in from Ace. Another choppity chop.
How many stacks does he have?
5.
I thought he had 7. I feel like he's killed so many heroes. He has 8 kills, only 5 of them dunks.
What a noob.
Yeah, gotta step it up. Tofu in trouble. Tofu in the grave.
Yeah, OG able to get 1 support, but they're going to need to get way more than that.
I think
as this lead is getting worse and worse.
I think Ace has a lot of freedom now to actually make almost usually over-aggressive plays because of the, not just his net worth, but the types of matchups that he has with how good the Shroud is here. I would love to see Ace just really getting a little bit cocky, honestly. I think would be a good look in this game. Just very much not let OG get any sort of foothold once again. For OG, wait for the split, play the Radiance, and see if you can find some sort of a coil and an extended fight where you slowly but steadily whittle them down, and then have Void come in the end, because he is not going to be... You're doing yourself no favors by having Tomato start the fight, I think. There's not enough follow-up damage in the Chrono that people are going to die, at least not the targets you want to find. So I think he has to play a little bit more and letting the fight develop, have people drop to half health and then find a good dilation and maybe ultimately a Chrono. Looks like that is indeed the game plan for OG right now. Grouping up as 4 and playing the Void completely on the opposite side of the map. But if Tomato were to join now, he has no health. So I actually think this fight is not playable.
Oh, BZM.
If Gaimin find them here, this is going to be a disaster for OG.
Oh,
Sep will be the target.
Sacrificial lamb.
He's done.
Chop. Number 6 for Ace.
Ironic for Seb to be called and killed by Axe, of course.
Yep, his patented...
Thank you, Shannon.
I mean, if you think of one Axe, I mean, I feel like it is Seb, though, right? Surely. Ace.
All right, here we go
Another
again.
call comes in, dead shot, though, but the Split Earth is there to layer, and the chop... Actually, I couldn't tell if the chop was completely successful or not. Either way, the kill goes the way of Gaimin again. Ari now, flame broken and lassoed. Looking for the call. Oh, yeah, that feels good. Can just... Oh, the call onto the high ground.
That's what I'm talking about. This is what I want to see from Ace. There was a 0% chance of killing there, but he sends the message.
Yeah, it's the adrenaline. When you're getting all of these culling stacks in there,
yeah.
I know you don't have experience with that in your pro play, but it feels really good.
My Axe is actually quite good. No cap.
Okay.
Also not Cap. Cap's Axe is not as good as mine.
It's good to know.
I would probably claim it's quite good, but...
You sound like a real narcissist right now.
Yeah, I'm the best.
Gaimin up 10K. And the Axe has certainly worked out in their favor.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely been the story of the game. It has this tendency to, when Axe has a good game, he just draws all attention to himself.
Seb, you have died.
Also drawing attention to himself.
You have died, young man. Oh, wait a second. Tomato comes in with a double chrono, trying to focus down the Ench, but that's a little bit slow. Dead shot with the coil. And it looks like OG will punish this move from Gaimin.
That was such... I almost want to say obvious bait. Like, Sep just placed himself in the middle of the map and started killing a centaur creep, but it worked.
It worked.
Ace has had so many successes in a row that he was just seeing another target, but that time OG were ready for the counterplay. It did cost them a lot, though. Cost them all their big ults, so now we're back to another 1.5 to 2 minutes of playing keep away.
I mean, when you're playing Axe and you're snowballing, it's almost like it's like trying to kick an addiction. You really have to keep going for those calls, and it doesn't matter if you know if it's a bait. You know you have to do it. Something in your head is telling you so. As Seb, well, they get the dust off, the silence from the calling.
Very good calling.
And is that going to be enough to kill off the Weaver? Indeed.
Great
so
calling.
it only cost them Seb.
Yeah, we've talked so much about Ace. We haven't really been keeping as much track of the Weaver, who obviously got that Orchid and is now closing on the Gleipnir. Lesh with his Bloodstone toward BKB build on that side. Tomato closing in on Manta, not too far away. That will be a pretty big help if you can be clutch Manta dodging a call, perhaps, or getting away from the Weaver. Orchid is the more obvious usage. Oh, if he gets spotted here. They saw him. They saw him. Uh-oh.
No way. Oh, my goodness. Lasso into call. TPs are coming. The chop is there again, though. The coil only onto one. Breaks it immediately. Now trying to walk away. Calling is placed as well, but no follow-up for OG. They lose their Void again.
And Celery's just chilling. Just farming now on his Ench. The map is... I think it's fair to say that OG has had access to maybe a third of the map, or 40%, the last 10 minutes. And they're doing the best they can with it to try to keep this afloat. And they've done a pretty admirable job of not falling behind any further on the gold in the last 5. But I was not really seeing any meaningful progression that is inspiring a lot of hope that they can start crossing the river anytime soon. So this will be the first Rockman of the game. Imagine the Aegis will just be going on Dyrachyo, and we know how he likes to play with that one. The exact same as without.
Yeah.
Very aggressive.
Literally nothing changes.
Yeah.
He has one mode.
Yep.
Roshan has fallen to the tower.
They're going to see BZM here with their skeleton orchid.
Yeah, Orchid, but he gets off the blink just in time for the damage procced. I mean,
OG
keep in mind that this
fine.
is a game. I mean, you do have a Lesh on the team. I know he wasn't there, but that is an amazing Aegis carrier. But if you put it on the Weaver, maybe it's a Dyrachyo.
I actually like it better on Weaver this particular game than on Lesh, and I would usually agree with you that you almost always put this on the Leshrac. But the thing is, Leshrac in this game is more likely to survive if initiated on than the Weaver. He's just gonna, if he gets his Bloodstone off and has Pulse Nova running, he can survive a ton of this. He can heal a lot from the Brewlings, he can heal a lot from the Void that's hitting him, and the Weaver can just act as a frontline vision giver for the Axe and the Bat. So I actually like it a lot this way around. If Lesh gets initiated on and somehow does die, I feel like OG need to pump all their resources into it, and then they're just going to lose the following part of the fight to a Weaver just having free reign. Because you're not killing the Lesh without chronoing him, I think, anymore. Ace also with a Bloodstone. You love to see that on the old Axe.
That is beautiful. Spell Lifesteal. You got
AoE on the call.
AoE. Beautiful choice, young
Love
man.
that.
That guy's a boss.
Oh, I thought you were going to say a bot. It's like, wow.
No, you're the bot.
Uncalled for.
Foil, only onto 1, but they will clean up Tofu pretty fast. It'll cost them Seb, so 1 for 1 to start this fight. Remember, Aegis, of course, on the side of Gaiman. As Dyrachyo continuing to play very aggressive. BZM going to the other side, so a bit of segregation here.
If Dyrachyo can somehow find an angle into this, just getting Gleipnir onto anyone, really, is a good setup for the Axe to follow through. It will force the Manta from the Void as well, who actually still doesn't have it. Tomato is still so far behind par. And it begs the question, should he actually have gone for like a catch-up Midas? Oh my god, he's actually just dead to Weaver, isn't he?
No.
Never mind.
Surely not, Cinderman.
How did he deal so little damage?
Dire's top tower is under attack.
That's for you to answer. You're the analyst.
I don't know. That looked like a situation where the Weaver was going to do more than that. Huh. I know the Deadshot clipped Dyrachyo in the end, but I'm surprised he didn't do more of a dent into Tomato there with the items that he has.
Yep, Deadshot.
Ace.
Now on to Ace.
It's tanky.
Already at half HP is Tomato, closing the gap. Has the Chrono, of course, will use it. The rest of his team will walk into it as they do.
Awkward.
Very poorly played there as Ace now calls, looking for a potential chop, but Tomato time walks away. And Ace was using the Bloodstone there. The coil's going to snap, and he is still very tanky, but eventually OG gets what they came for. Tomato, though, lassoed and soloed essentially by Tofu. Really unfortunate death if you're an OG fan. And they lost Brew somewhere along the lines here.
Yeah, Ari's in trouble too. It's going to get scouted out and Yuled. Reinforcements are arriving via the Weaver. He will Yule again.
Tofu
and he is very dead.
owning.
Yep.
He is actually owning on this support bat.
I thought Gaiman were going to bring more resources to help the Axe there. That was a 20-second chase at least from OG to find that kill. But as you said, they found the Brew on the other side of the map and they kept the waves pushed out. Perhaps TPs were on cooldown. I think a Leshrac arriving there could have spelled complete disaster for OG. Now it only spells half a disaster, but still pretty bad. This is now going to be top tier 2. It's going to be the Tormentor Steel. This one will be going the way of Tofu.
Perfect.
Changes absolutely nothing. It's good for OG as a matter of fact. Now the net worth of Gaiman Gladiators is higher if they were to kill the bat.
That's true. Is it just the attacking sticky napalm? I need to double check this. Does it change anything else?
Flaming
It
Blast
no longer disarms you.
Every second attack gives 1 napalm stack. I mean, it does have its. We're talking about it like it is just absolute trash, which is not the case. It still has its uses. It's just among support shards, I would definitely put this as like one of the 3 worst on average. Because Bad Rider mostly doesn't really hit heroes very much. You're just playing flanking, you're casting your spells from range and not getting involved with your actual hero. But, no, sometimes you will do a little bit of poke here and there. I guess it also helps it a little bit for farming speed.
Yeah, that's good. Every support needs a farming mechanism now, Cinder.
That is very true.
Need to push your waves, need to jungle, need to get your 6-slot items.
Yes.
Need to do more damage to creeps.
Ace, finding
Nothing.
Tomato, but the protection is there from Ahri.
Okay.
This will be another long
Whisper
chase
coming
sequence,
in.
it feels
yes, Seller's in the vicinity as well. Tomato has to be careful. The counter Helix is owning him right now as Seb with a bit of a zoning ult. As they're just trying to keep their distance from Ace, but they really want to kill him as Tofu gets the initiation again onto the Void. Yule's up into the air though. Is this enough damage? Yes. Tomato dies again. And guess who's still alive? Ace. They couldn't finish the job.
Okay, if your axe can do this, imagine if the team is there from the beginning, right? You literally played 1v4
Chop.
for 10 seconds.
10
Still didn't die.
stacks.
Oh my goodness.
Beast.
I don't know. OG just don't have the solutions. They just can't kill this guy. They need a full-on 4v1 for half a minute.
Good amount of damage from BZM, but your buildings are going to melt here very shortly. Backdoor protection is gone. Fortification activated now.
Dire structures.
The counter fort aggressively from Gaiman. They want to keep going. Call on
Indeed.
Seb.
That's the call to start. Dyrachio coming with his BKB already activated. They focus down Seb right off the bat. He's dead for 40, no buyback. Dyrachio time lapse. Gets a decent amount of HP back. Is it normal for Muerta to get a support Muerta to get Moonshard as a second item, Cinderin?
That sounds like a rhetorical question. The answer is no. That is not normal.
Okay. Just checking.
Radiant are scanning.
Because Ahri does have Moonshard.
I think it's a good pickup though. I think he's making the right call here that
Like, my Void is useless.
we don't have enough damage. How can I get the most DPS per gold?
This is like a pub
Probably
choice
it.
right here. A very toxic choice.
He's going Moonshard into Daedalus.
Okay, here's the real question. Do you think he asked permission from Tomato? He's like, Tomato, would it offend you if I go Moonshard on my Muerta?
Tomato, I think you suck. No offense.
We love Tomato, of course.
Yeah. He's just, honestly, the thing is, there are just some games where you die.
Oh my God, Quinn with the double split Earth.
This is one of
Tomato's
them.
dead. Ahri, the Moonshard, helping him out here survive a little bit longer with that night vision.
Courier has been killed.
So, yeah. No, it's just his conditions are just bad, right? I don't think Tomato's played a particularly bad game. It's just really, really difficult.
Tomato's a very good player. He's very attractive as well. That's probably more important for pro players these days. Is Seb caught off guard. He's going to go down. It'll be the trade for Tofu.
Shortest lasso in history.
Yeah, the lasso doesn't last too long there as Ace pops the Bloodstone. Whisper, Primal Split. Splitter though coming in from Quinn. Chop number 1 from Ace into a call.
And Seb with a rare failed voice line. He thought they had the axe. When Seb starts voice lining in the middle of the fight, he thinks the fight is a win. I've noticed this pattern. It's always the same. And he was like, oh, you thought you were going to get a good trade there, huh? And yeah, they were. So, bit of a misread there from the Frenchman. It's going to cost him at least a lane of barracks. And more than likely, Game and Gladiators are not stopping here. With these 2 heroes dead for half a minute on the Puck and the Brew, they want to force these buybacks. Damage is unavailable without the Puck.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
See if they keep going. Looks like it. So mid is next on the menu.
Call from Ace onto Crystal Maiden. Mr. Seb in a lot of trouble. He's dead again. No tipping this time.
He didn't think they were winning that.
That'll be 2 sets of racks, although the
Radiant
fortification does come out.
fortified.
But yeah, delays the inevitable. Whisper. Okay, Ace
Nice
going in for the
Manta.
call, but the Manta dodge from Tomato. Time dilation onto Ace. He's just going to run away, though.
Radiant's middle has fallen.
And Gaiman, they secure both sets, and now they can likely reset. Roche up in about a minute. And at that point, OG, I would assume, have to contest the Roche. Absolutely have to.
Would you agree if I said this really takes me back a year with gaming? I feel like this is the exact same game
Yeah.
that they used to play.
Yeah, for sure.
Same logic, same draft approach as well. They're last picking Ace into an insane matchup. They're getting strong lanes. They're playing really fast. They're moving their carry. They're taking the outer towers early, and they're non-stop brawling. This is effectively what a lot of people wanted to see from gaming for a very long time, but they just haven't necessarily been able to enforce this type of gameplay in a lot of their games. But this is really textbook stuff from the time that this team was flat out just the best in the world for half a year.
I'd like to go back and see what their average game length was during that time.
Yeah,
because this is a really long patch right now.
Yeah.
So the game might have ended already last year, right?
Oh yeah, it would have. I think they would have won this game minute 25 back then, probably. With the same heroes, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, the game has slowed down a bit with the bigger map, etc. But let's see. Came in looking for the kill. The killing blow, crossing the map, 5-man smoke. They obviously know where OG are because nobody's defending base. So there's only really one place OG can be, and this is the all-in
Roche.
last-ditch effort.
Roche is Wade. This
Force
is going to
fight
be,
of
okay.
This fight
That's
is
breaking
really
the
hard.
smoke. BZM with a nice waning rift into Coil onto 2. Looks like Seb's going to be the sacrifice again, although Tomato coming in with a nice chrono onto 3 heroes. Be able to take out Tofu to start. Now trying to focus down the Weaver. Silenced up and down goes Duraccio. No buyback. As Ari left all alone now, will be surrounded, eventually brought down, it seems. As the Pulse Nova will be able to get the kill.
Not bad from OG.
Yeah.
That was about a 5k swing. They find the big kill on the Weaver. They get the buyback out of the Bad Rider with the way that opened up. I don't know how Duraccio was not able to BKB there. He didn't die in the chrono, right?
No.
He came out of it.
He was
never got
definitely
time
silenced for like 3 or 4 seconds.
had he misclicked his BKB earlier and it was on cooldown or what? Because I thought that was just it. I thought he was just going to get his spells off and just crush the fight because they didn't kill him in the chrono, but I don't know, whatever it was, because it's on an 8-seconder, so he's definitely had it for long enough and used it. Anyway, as it stands, OG with a little bit of a... They're surviving, but they still lose the Roche, and this will be Aegis plus Cheese for the Lesh. And he will also be finishing his Wind Waker as soon as he gets to
They
that.
probably thought he had Aegis already.
Dire's
Duraccio.
bottom tower
Yeah,
is
that must
under
be it.
attack.
Playing like he has the Aegis. I mean, you don't want to use BKB on first life, Synderen. Whisper.
Oh boy.
Berserker's Call into Deathity Chop.
Yep, never say that again.
Deathity, Deathity.
Tower is under attack.
Now Quinn and company, they will have their Weaver back now. Just needs to get to the other side of the map. We'll TP to the outpost, and now they can try to secure this game number 1 with the Megas. Tomato, no chrono.
Radiant's top
Even if they had it, they don't really have the greatest of combos, I would say. Like, the damage in the chrono is not particularly great.
Radiant's top tower has
I
fallen.
get the tier 3 as Seb. Well, lassoed. What number chop is this, Synderen?
9.
13. Good try.
Yeah.
It's as if you have not been watching.
Oh, sorry. I can't count.
If understandable. Well, we already have an upgraded Yules as the
Chop number
Berserker's
10.
Call from Ace. No chop this time. Too much damage. Damage overload for him. Just like that, it's a 5 versus 2, not including the Aegis or the Cheese. BZM and Tomato, the last remaining members of OG. The Chronosphere onto 3 heroes into 0 damage. Pretty much been the story of the game as GG is called. So, Gaimin with a much needed win. Should point that out again. OG coming into this 3-1, so they've been doing extremely well. Whereas Gaimin getting off to a very bad start, uncharacteristic for them, 1-3. So now 2-3.
Yeah, and they made it look easy, honestly. I think, once again, OG did a pretty good job the first 15 minutes of trying to stem the bleeding, but as it stood, they were just getting run over all around the map, and they kind of all of the fights that they took were to stay afloat. It was never to get an advantage. The writing was on the wall from quite early on, and as soon as Gaming Gladiators started pulling truly ahead, they had quite a bit of margin for error. It wasn't the cleanest Gaming Gladiators mid-game ever, but there was just so much room for mistakes and some strong individual performances. You pointed out Tofu on the Batrider playing an excellent game. But of course, man of the match, it's got to be Ace, right? On the Axe. Set up for success. He ends the game 23-11 with more dunks than I can count.
Yeah.
Looks like it's 14. So I could count it after all. But yeah, great game from Gaimin. And it's the time to warm up. Keep in mind, this is a 10-game group stage. So starting 1 and 3 is already quite rough. You need to start winning a lot of games if you want to look at the upper bracket or at the very least, making it to the playoff stage. Which top 4 from each group.
If they win this game too, then both them and OG are actually just tied.
Yep.
So it's as if it never happened. But definitely a good game for Gaming Gladiators. But there is a second game coming, Cinder, and let's see what the panel have to say about this Axe performance.
Clearly, it's the fact that CY who? You need Coach Slacks on your team. He implanted the idea in Ace. Definitely has nothing to do with the fact that this man picked it like 5 times during Elite League and did work on it. No. This Axe is making a debut here because of Slacks. And Ace is making it look fantastic. What a performance out of a hero that we do not see very often. Jenkins, what's up with that?
I love the build. I mean, I think the Eternal Shroud and going for the, Octarine Core eventually, well, he had it queued up. He was eventually going to go for it. Bloodstone. Like, I don't know if you guys have played against late game Axe on the current patch. If you can get there without feeding, it is so oppressive. Super low cooldown, BKB piercing, massive stun because of the Bloodstone AoE. It's really good, and it's new tech. Nobody goes for this like Vanguard BKB bullshit anymore. That's too weak. That's old meta. This is the new meta.
I mean, it's cool. The Bloodstone definitely makes it way more survivable because a lot of Axe was really the blink BKB. Hopefully you kill a guy then because then you're kind of useless for a bit. But the Bloodstone makes you a pain to kill. You're constantly dealing damage. You survive way longer. And with all of that heal, you're pairing it with this giant amount of armor that you're getting just by staying alive, which makes your heal and your HP even better. So it's pretty cool. And if it's something he's playing in pubs, that's what he needed. He had a rough day yesterday. He didn't play that fantastic. That was an amazing performance. He carried the crap out of his team.
Yeah, that was some old school Gaming Gladiators stuff where they last pick a hero for Ace and he carries the game. That's what they did all of last year. And so if you're not last picking a hero for Ace, then you're building this really strong 3-man ball around Quinn, which is also what they had.
Yep.
Honestly, we talked about the Axe a lot, but I just want to talk about how Weaver enables drafts like this for Gaming because it came out really early, right? It was their second pick, I believe.
Yeah, it was the Batrider first pick and then Weaver second pick.
So when you have this Weaver, then you can see the map open up the way that it did because they last picked Axe into a perfect lane for him. OG could not put out the fire and give Void a game. They just kind of had to withhold as much as possible. But while that was happening, you take the Enchantress out of the Weaver lane, you bring her mid, and you play with the Leshrac. Meanwhile, the Batrider's playing with the Axe. And there's nothing anybody can do because the Weaver is just safe by itself. So yeah, just very cool drafting.
Even the Weaver left the Weaver lane. The rotation towards bot. Like, there was a lot of really clutch, cool plays in that game from Gaimin, honestly, where they would, like, jump in with Ace. They would do an initiation, baiting... there was another time they did with Durasio, where he went in first, used the Orchid, forces the Manta, uses the Gleipnir, so that Tomato has to jump out, and then Ace is already there, like, in preparation for that. There were so many kills that if you don't execute every component of it, the kill just doesn't happen, and that gets you that little bit of a lead, makes the next one even easier, and they snowball like that.
I'll shine one more extremely bright light on our star-studded performance because I want to take a look at our Acer Predator head-to-head. Usually, it's the same role that we compare, but this man did so well from the offlane that we're actually going to compare him to the carry. That's right. Eclipsing the net worth of that Faceless Void, eclipsing the hero damage, and the KDA speaks for itself.
It really does, and that's a very apt comparison because it was Axe who was the anti-carry to the Void. They picked this hero to shut down Void, and that they did. Honestly, because there was so much happening around the map, there weren't resources that OG could put into Tomato's lane to give him a game, and because of that, he had a very late entry into the game. We saw that he was level 5 in the big team fight where he had to just stick around, hope a kill would happen. He got level 6 around minute 10, and that's where he got his first chrono. And it wasn't one fight for OG, but if your Void is getting level 6 that late, and you have to just throw everything out there to barely win a fight, then that Void is not in a good position. And shout out to Ace for making that happen.
And I'm just happy we see Axe again. He was not played at all in the previous patch, and that was Mage Slayer being broken. It reduced all of the damage that Axe was doing by 35% for 6 seconds. So like the hero was just not viable previous patch. If this keeps becoming a thing, maybe that's going to be a solution, but because it would reduce the spin damage and the battle hunger damage and the chop.
Vanguard was bad too. It's still bad, but people are going for Blade Mail on things other than Axe. Like Blade Mail is just meta, and if Blade Mail is meta, then Axe is going to be more likely to be meta. Bloodstone also is being played on heroes that have AoEs on things rather than on heroes that need mana, because it doesn't give you mana anymore, so that also helps. Eternal Shroud being buffed as well. This is like, this could be an Axe patch and we just didn't know it.
Yeah.
All this time hyping up the Radiance, it seems like maybe there are some other things going on. And aside from this panel, there's also something else going on off in the distance. It's Sir Action Slacks, our on-the-ground reporter. Slacks, what's poppin'?
Hello. Not much is popping here, my friends. I do have a scoop for you. I got a big scoop. Come with me. This is OG's booth right here, Tsunami. Check this out.
Okay, let's take a peek.
Only Whisper is left. Now, I've seen this a lot. OG, as soon as they're done, they go and they run over here, and Whisper doesn't move an inch. If we can take a little peek over here, they're getting some grub right there.
Yeah.
That's the food station. They're getting some beautiful British cuisine, you know, bangers and mash or whatever they do over here. But Whisper never leaves. He never eats. He never does anything. So maybe we can get a closer look of Whisper like he's a Bigfoot or something and discover.
Ask him why.
Does he go to the bathroom?
I'm not gonna ask him.
I think he'd like for you to interrupt whatever he's doing.
Okay, I'll get up. We'll get up close.
Don't.
I'm gonna do a crawl again.
Come on. Come on.
Maybe just come behind. Just come behind him. Let's see what he's looking.
I was.
This man takes
not a
every
good
challenge
idea.
head on.
This is not a good idea.
He's watching a replay. But we're not gonna bother him. Was there a coddle in the last game? Oh my god, he's watching Wings Gaming. Why is he watching Wings Gaming?
He's motivation.
I don't know what's going on. He's got some real dank stress. He's watching an old ass replay. Okay, well, he's got his headphones on. He doesn't notice us. There's a live game happening in this booth, so we got to keep our voices down. Now, a fun, cool fact, though, guys.
Tell me.
OG is eating with their enemies. They both went together.
They're breaking bread with the enemy?
They are. They're eating with their rivals right now. Maybe they're talking about stuff. They're sitting at the same table. So that's kind of crazy. I've never seen anything like that before. I think they might pretend to be friends out of the game and then crush each other in the game. So pretty nuts. They see us now and they do not want to be filmed. So we're filming over here. But any questions about it? Well, should we go? What do you guys, what do you think about that?
I don't know. We'll have our own thoughts. Flax, thank you so much for the reporting. Much appreciated. Breaking bread with the enemy. I mean, I've always noticed that, at least in the mornings, everyone from all the teams gathers at the hotel breakfast, and you see all these uncommon pairings. Usually they are language separated, but right now we need to keep these teams separated, at least once we get into the combat of Dota 2 Friends. Game number 2 of OG versus Game & Gladiators will be on your screens after a bit.
At some point,
stacked in this first phase, and the Enchantress, wow, really have an axe to grind, except yet, strangely, axe not banned. Pango taken out, and then they first pick the Disruptor. Well, I guess Shadow Demon also left in the pool, still.
This is the most overpowered character in the game, Disruptor. He presses Q on you, and then you lose half your HP, and then you go, oh, thank God. Thank God the Q is off of me. And then it's on you again, because it's 100% uptime. It does a shitload of damage. It's stupid as hell. He wins lanes, because his Q was buffed. Oh yeah, that's good. They lost. OG lost.
Is that a 4 sniper, Jenkins?
I hope so. This is, go ahead.
Unless you're a Gaming Gladiators fan, then you don't hope so. Then you're hoping Quinn will be on it.
I mean, it's kind of cool as a Disruptor solution, because Disruptor dies very easy to physical damage, but normally you can't get close enough to kill Disruptor, because to do so forces you to run away from your team. But Sniper's just like, I'm just gonna
he just stands there.
shot you no matter how far away you are. So it's like Disruptor actually has to be worried at normal glimpse range that he's gonna die.
Yeah, but alternatively, I think Disruptor can really own Sniper if he just has a vision hero on his team. Then you're just glimpsing Sniper into really bad positions, because this hero is so positioning dependent. Like, if you can't really get a good angle in a fight or a good high ground to take, then Sniper is very susceptible to getting run at and dying. So having this repositioning tool, on the other hand, is going to be really good for OG. And we've seen how impactful Sub is on these position 5s that just set up for kills. On Bane yesterday, he was just making kill after kill after kill happen. I can imagine something similar happening with Disruptor, especially if he goes for an Axe Rush build.
Yeah, I think the Sniper first pick, honestly, is like very ballsy. I mean, usually people will pick it when they see the lane matchup, and you know that you can. It's usually a late phase hero, is what I'm saying, because otherwise you can pick all these jump heroes, the Centaurs and Storm Spirits of the world, and get on top of the little guy, and it doesn't feel like the same hero.
I mean, those are valid points, but I feel like I've also watched a lot of games where like you pair it with some like normal carry, and like just one of the two has to have a good game, and then you just have a monster, and then you have a carry that can hit towers, and you have a sniper. It's just like it just feels like you have more for one hero than the other team can get because you're the guy with sniper. I don't know.
It also could be a like team matchup thing where Gaiman thinks that pretty much all of BZM's mid heroes get countered by sniper, and so they're like, okay, let's force him to pick something that he hasn't played, because all of the stuff that he does play normally is countered by sniper. Like, I know a lot of teams will draft like that, where they're just like, this.
That's a good idea.
This hero is unanswered by this team in particular, so let's just pick it, see what happens.
Like Puck, it's like you just don't have to ban it now.
Yeah,
and it's very commonly banned in the last phase.
I think that's what it is. It really opens up the draft for Gaiman to have this sniper early, because he's not a hero that has bad lane matchups. You can pretty much throw him against anything. Like, maybe he will suffer versus the Storm Spirit that gets an early level 6 and has a good lane because of support rotations.
Game. Yeah.
But otherwise, like, Sniper just kind of owns no matter what. So now you have all of these draft options open for GG where they don't have to worry about Quinn's hero pool getting banned.
Gaiman Gladiators turn to pick.
Of the things to be worried about, Zeus apparently makes the list as Gaiman ban that out. Meanwhile, OG target Duraccio in their second phase. Take out the Weaver, take out the CK.
Weaver and CK have a very similar function as carries, is that they're carries that you can leave by themselves on lane and play for the 3-man ball that we talked about. We talked about how Weaver enabled Gaiman to just put a support with Quinn, put a support with Ace, and just completely shut down 2 other lanes. And CK does the same thing as we saw last game.
Yeah, of other heroes that Duraccio gets left alone on, Lifestealer still remains in the pool. But right now, Gaiman will get a support Tusk.
I assume it's for Tofu. He's been playing a lot of melee 4s, basically a lot of Tiny, a lot of Tusks, so this kind of fits a similar vein.
10 seconds.
It's a very good hero for creating some separation between your opponents and you, or when you're running people down, it's going to help make sure that Sniper can get within range to peep like crazy. So I think it's a fine pick here. There aren't necessarily any super obvious like best pairings with it that are counter pick worthy, but yeah, it looks fine. Just a little bit off meta. And this is not the first time Gladiators has been comfortable picking what's good for them and ignore most popular meta stuff.
And it's a nice hero, right? Because conceptually, when you have backline right clickers like Drow Ranger and Sniper, what you need in your team is heroes that front line for it, right? That you just need people to give vision, soak damage, potentially jump the backlines, and Tusk does that quite nicely, right? And then you're going to have the tag team damage coming out early on. It's looking for very strong early rotations to the mid lane.
Dire team pick.
There it is, the Bane. They do have Snowball against it, though. So if you do get your core gripped, you jump and you save them. And the nightmares don't go through the snow. It's a natural dream blocking property, of course.
I also remember a patch where both Bane and Tusk were really popular before, where people considered Tusk to be a Bane lane counter, because Bane obviously just runs at you and hits you, right? And Tusk plus a ranged offlane or something like a Dawnbreaker is like a guaranteed kill on something like a Bane. You can't do the thing where like you body in for your position 1. So it is interesting that they pick it, but of course that was along, it's a different patch, so the matchup might not work exactly the same.
Yeah, it's a good theory because Bane is a great trader, awesome stats, great with Ironwood branches.
Yeah, you just kill him.
And you have brain saps. You're one of the best traders. But then when you throw tag team on top of that for 2 heroes, it's like, oh, you actually don't win.
Yeah.
This is a 4 disruptor. It's actually kind of a cool concept. You're going to have glimpse backs into skewer backs, which is a really nice way to threaten the carry, like lots of repositioning.
That is good.
Yeah, and then if you pick something like a troll to pair with this Magnus, then you're not too worried about Tusk threatening it on the enemy lane, right? So you can actually set up for very cool plays on your offlane.
The Monkey is someone that when I was watching replays yesterday, it was getting banned in the first phase against some teams. Gladiators did play it at least one of their games. It's one of the heroes that Dyrachyo is comfortable with. And it is, again, similar principle to the Weaver and the CK. It's a hero that has built-in lifesteal or sustain and can just kind of live in his lane. And now that he sees that he's against a Magnus, he's like, okay, here I go. And frankly, against a Disruptor and a Bane, I'm less scared now that I'm Monkey King, because if you're worried about a glimpse back, you just fight to the death and maybe you get some Jingus off.
You know what else OG could pick here? They could go for a PA strat with the Magnus PA. It's like the highest win rate carry versus... Oh, they go for Morphling. Okay. That's another very high win rate hero versus Sniper. It's a backline jump. You can... Honestly, like, the hero doesn't build much to deal with a Conda Morphling just jumping you. Like, you lose 80% of your HP and can't man-fight the Morphling. And then also... Sniper can never kill Morph. He doesn't do enough burst damage.
And you can morph into Sniper and headshot people.
Yes, naturally.
Really, really good.
It's also not threatened by either of GG supports. We don't know if the Tusk is going to be played as 4 or 5 or the Rubik, but neither of these supports really put the pressure on Morph, honestly.
Sure.
It's very free lane for him. I mean, maybe you might suffer a little bit the first couple of levels, but afterwards you're quite untouchable.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of the lane, like, they do have the off-lane counter pick to the Morph, but I will say it is hard to, like, theorycraft a current good offlaner that is good in the patch and then also good against Morph, which is why I think, a large reason why Morph is such a strong hero right now.
Well, of options, Enigma is off the board. Can you not bring the Axe back?
I was going to say Axe is...
Axe Tusk sounds like a sweet lane.
Axe is the one. Yeah, Axe is definitely the one. It's very good with Tusk as well. Like, it's... A lot of the time you want to play a ranged offlaner with the Tusk because then you can... utilize the icy hands and beat the crap out of people, but with Axe, like, the move speed slow, the battle hunger, and he can taunt with the ice shards. Like, it is a nice combo. It's similar to Dawnbreaker in that sense.
And then of other ace heroes, Bloodseeker was picked in Elite League. You like that at all versus Morphling or no?
No.
10 seconds remaining.
It just doesn't do that much, right? You're not really threatening this Morph on lane, and like, he's a natural Linken's buyer anyway. It doesn't upset him in any way, shape, or form going for that item.
And you can also waveform while you're ruptured and not take any damage, so...
The other heroes that I'm looking at are like Doom is a fairly obvious one. You counter any hero that is based on
healing.
It's very good against the Morph. It's a little weird with the Tusk, but it's not the worst because you can run at them with, Scorched Earth. Omni Knight is another one that is currently considered very good against Morphling. You mitigate, all of his damage. You have a lot of burst for him in the lane. It's good with the Tusk as well, similar to the Dawnbreaker.
Ooh, BZM Earth Spirit. We haven't seen this in a while since Dream League.
And so
played
far,
it at Elite League as well. I'm pretty
Oh yeah, he did actually. You're right.
How does this?
When we've seen it, it's been so much support. So see it mid is pretty
exciting.
Gives him dive.
I'm thinking, like, how does it do in lane against a Sniper?
It's not going to do great. Like, Sniper should out-CS you for sure, but it's the mid hero that has reach, right? You're always going to have a means to get on top of Sniper and do damage later on. You're also going to build Blade Mail. You cut trees down on Earth Spirit. It's very useful versus carry Monkey King. Like, you cut trees down with Geo Grip, you cut trees down with Rolling Boulder. Like, it's a very cool hero conceptually versus Gaiman's draft. Maybe the hero isn't what it used to be. It's not as strong. It doesn't do as much as it used to because of the Rolling Boulder CD nerf. But a lot of mid Earth Spirits, they're just playing on the Magnetized Talents now. This hero, if you're getting the Magnetized Talents, you do a lot of damage in these team fights.
Yeah, it's like plus 30% duration and damage, right? So if you're fueling that with a Sanj Kaya on top of it, and maybe even like a Shiva's later on, like the damage has got to be insane, right?
They didn't ban Axe, by the way. There's still an Axe in the pool.
Are they that worried against it when you have like a Bane to cover it? And Disruptor could also, like he didn't build BKB, just send it back every time.
It's just so damn good against
It's kind of weird, but...
It's a bit weird with the Tusk, though. That's the only thing. It is very nice playing a ranged offlaner with Tusk, but you don't have to do it.
What does your mullet feel, Ace? Take a seat and show us your hero. Tidehunter.
Okay. They played it already once.
And it's a little bit interesting because Disruptor is considered a counter to Tidehunter because you just drop the Static Storm and then your team kills him before he gets his Ravage off.
In lane too. This is a game pick for sure.
Yeah. Because outside of the threat of the Disruptor, I mean, if you're a Tidehunter, ideally you can soak up the RP, you can soak up maybe the grip. You're not really going to outfarm the Morph or anything, but you can just jungle, you can do well later on, and you can soak up a lot of damage from the Earth Spirits too. Like, there are dispellable spells here. The only threat right now seems to be the Disruptor. But if your Tide's getting ulted, your Monkey isn't, right?
It's a mid Monkey with a Duraccio carry Sniper.
That's cool. So they're trying to deal with the Earth Spirit in an even stronger way.
Yep.
And making life easy for Duraccio. And the other cool thing is that one Seb has an incredible Bane game and gets his Axe. Ace doesn't care. He's going to ravage every single illusion on the board. So, yeah, it is a very cool tide pick. The lane swap is interesting, though.
A lot of good teams do this. Like, I feel like you can often look at the last pick in a draft and be like, oh, that's really weird. That's not like a cheese pick. It's not like a one-to-one counter to any of their heroes. But it's for the game. Like, if you have a Sniper is so happy to have a Tidehunter in the game, just ravaging for him, building the auras. They also have a Monkey King mid, right? That's another carry, right? They have 2 carries. So they needed a hero, like they needed some Underlord, some Tide that will just go in, be beefy, stun people for the 2 carries, auras. Like, this is a pick for the game. That's what it is.
It's a good lane pivot too, because Monkey King should have a very free lane versus Earth Spirit. I don't think it'll rotate as well as Earth Spirit if he gets a few runes and kind of withstands the laning phase, because if you're Monkey King and you're trying to match an Earth Spirit's rotations and then you die a couple of times, your game's pretty much over. But if Quinn beats him up on lane, then maybe they're going to have to struggle putting BZM into this game.
Yeah, he could snowball really hard, for sure. And I think Monkey King, who is set up for a good lane against like some Kunkka or Earth Spirit, can actually rotate and be strong. It's not one of those mid heroes where it's like you counter the one-to-one matchup, but then it's like, oh, the guy wins by rotating. Like, the Monkey can actually also counter the rotations if you win the lane. And obviously, you're picking it to win the lane.
With that being said, OG has huge teamfight spells. Huge. They've got Static Storm, they've got Grip, they've got RP. They have a lot of means to play make in this game and come back from bad situations.
Purge. Give me a prediction.
I can't wait to see the mid Monkey on Quinn.
Great. Neither can I. Let's get into it in game number 2 with Sunsfan and Cinderin.
Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? Welcome to game number 2 between Gaiman Gladiators and OG. OG lost game number 1, Cinderman.
True.
Will that happen again, or have they found the solutions that they have needed to find?
Well, the thing that's for sure in this one is that Gaiman's lineup looks very different in nature, right? Last game they played this super high tempo with the Ench and Weaver safe lane with the Axe offlane snowballing. In this game you have a slow offlaner in the Tide who's going to buy auras probably, and your safe lane is a lot more, how to say, it's just slower with the Tusk Sniper. Sniper not a particularly good rotation hero, not very fast. All right. Speaking of fast, he has boots, so he is fast.
Yes.
But he will get dewarded as Celery realizes where this ward must have been. Gives himself a nice little juicy 17 experience for himself and 2 teammates. And the Bounty Runes
The
will
battle begins.
probably be a 2-for-2 split here. Or is it 3-for-1? Actually, 3-for-1 for Gaimin.
The thing I like about this game, Cinderin, have you noticed that the mid lane is the lane we talk about probably the least because it's typically heroes we see so often fight against each other.
Right.
We're seeing Monkey King versus Earthspirit. Now that's cool. Let's talk about
true.
that. And right now it's an Illusion Rune versus Earthspirit. Who do you take in this matchup?
I don't know. I think Illusion Rune's quite good.
Is it?
Oh, it wasn't. Oh, it's Monkey King. Never
Okay.
mind.
Oops.
Yeah. Now I'm not excited anymore. I'm curious about this lane. Monkey King, generally speaking, crushes every mid laner, or every melee hero, sorry. Not every mid laner. But Earthspirit is a little bit different in the mid lane compared to a lot of other heroes in the way that he gets CS. Boulder Smash does a lot of damage after the buffs that it received over time to creeps. I do expect BZM to lose, but maybe he'll be doing better than, let's say, an Ember would, right? I think this is more manageable. BZM's actually even going to play a little bit aggressively here. Until Monkey King gets level 3, this hero is not that strong. If you're tanking the creep wave as he is now, the Jingo Mastery is not a very powerful skill level 1. So BZM should be able to do okay in the beginning.
But he's getting Boundless Strike there, so gets a lot of his HP back. Daracha, we're seeing playing the Sniper in this safe lane. He's going to be accompanied by the old Tusk versus the Mag Disruptor.
Not
another interesting lane.
Not that stereotypical of a Daracha here. I'm actually surprised to see that he is Platinum tier on it in Dota Plus, because that,
Well,
needs more practice, I guess.
Oh my god. All right, first blood to Whisper. Great start for OG. That was actually picture perfect timing. Man alive. And it wasn't even a curse. It was actually kind of a prediction in a way.
It's so, to clarify a little bit, the way Daracho generally plays for this team, this is not his first sniper game in gaming, by the way. He's played it a couple of times, but I wouldn't put it in his top 3 best heroes, for example, just because the style that this hero plays is a lot slower, stand back and deliver. Daracho's best heroes are really the ones that go into the fray, like Chaos Knight, Faceless Void, Weaver. Get in there, soak up damage, and push it and dish it out as well.
Monkey King to a degree.
Yeah. I don't think we've seen him play. How much does he play that one?
I don't know.
I think it's almost only Quinn when they pick it, actually. Daracho. I take that back. I think Daracho's played it.
I mean, we've definitely seen him play it, not at this tournament, maybe.
Yeah.
Which, that's the interesting thing, because Sniper is a Quinn hero as well, right?
Yep. It's a flex for this team, for sure.
Why did they choose this? I mean, obviously it's Monkey King versus Melee, but you're talking about that this is not as crazy of an advantage for the Monkey King.
It's a good question, because I think they could have put them vice versa, right? I think the Monkey King could have done well against Mag, and I think Sniper against Earthspirit should be a completely fine lane as well. So it has to have something to do with pacing here, that Gaimin see a lot of value in having a mid hero that can rotate, like the panel talked about. When Earthspirit is going to start making these moves to side lanes, you want your mid hero to show up and help, and that's not exactly what Sniper is known for doing. So perhaps that's the mindset. Or it is that, okay, when we pick Monkey and Sniper, usually the Monkey will not be able to go mid because the matchups are relatively tough, but this one is so good that this is a hero that can take over a game on Quinn. Seb in trouble.
Yes, he is.
Another
Gets the
ankle would
Nightmare
do it.
off, though. So we'll be able to walk away. Tomato. Gonna take a little bit of damage on the way out. It has that attribute shift at its ready. Of course, Anchor Smash, pretty damn good against Morphling because of the damage reduction being percentage-based. And Seb continuing to get harassed. Telekinesis back into the arms of Tofu. Stick, Brain Sap, he survives. And they might be able to turn this around. Blood Grenade from a ridiculous range. Tomato, Adaptive Strike. Down goes Tofu. So great bait from Seb. Ends up turning that around on the support for Gaimin.
Yeah, very nicely done. Squeezed as much out of it as he could. Just very kind of just leading Tofu as deep as possible so that the Morphling could come over and just finish the job.
That's more like it.
Yep, and
he will suicide to neutrals after.
Indeed.
Get the full refill. Now, Water Rune for BZM. As said, this mid lane, I mean, Monkey is pulling ahead, right? 28 and 11, but 20 CS on Earthspirit, not too bad. It's
Yeah.
I wonder if this lane would have been harder against Sniper, as a matter of fact, as it stands right now.
Yeah, I would.
Not sure.
Tough to say. Both are pretty not great.
Not enjoying life on the Sniper.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that much.
Well, not having an escape mechanism of any kind is a bit of an annoyance. Celery is kind of that for him. As Shockwave will connect, Dyrachyo, he's going to be found. Snowball a little bit too late. Celery now completely outnumbered on his retreat. Seb has made his way over. BZM also joining the party. And Celery will get destroyed to BZM. So OG 5-0 start. Trying to get revenge after falling behind relatively early in that game number 1.
Yep. Yeah, the difference between this and game number 1 is in game 1, they also had a good amount of kills, but were just losing on raw laning. In this case, it's going a little bit better for OG overall.
They kill him again here. There's still 3 members.
Oh boy.
Rolling Boulder, not going to fully connect, but they still have the damage. TP coming in, it's going to be too late. Dyrachyo resigned to his death. Quinn gets glimpsed away. Oh man, well, he can go back to farming and say, hey, I tried to help out. But no kills come in the way of Gaiman at all. And that is a very bad death for Dyrachyo. He, I believe, TP'd in, so it's going to have to make the walk of shame.
And he's going to continue to be abused in this bot lane now, right? Because like he's going to get there as a level 3 sniper against level 5 mag. I think, honestly, Seb can just nightmare him, and if they don't have the Tusk nearby to safe, he'll just die.
Can we have, for next tournament, can we make this off-screen little picture-in-picture, say, walk of shame for this specific instance when this happens? Is a balance strike only onto 1 from Quinn. Telekinesis as Celery coming in to help take out Ahri.
Get on the board at least, but look who is back.
Oh boy. Level 3 sniper. You've seen this in your pubs before, and it's looking just as pathetic as you remember, as Whisper gets the right click.
Oh boy.
7-1 OG in a favor here, but I mean, net worth-wise, that's not telling the whole story. A lot of it is going to be experience, and we talked about level 3, position 1 sniper right now.
All right, so you're used to suck in lane. What do you do as sniper now?
Go mid? I don't know.
Go mid? Oh no. You gotta go in there and lane against level 6 Earth Spirit. That's gonna roll on you and kill you instantly.
You'll miss the... You can dodge that, you know?
Oh boy.
Tofu, telekinesis onto the cliff. Celery, though, or Whisper, I should say, with the skewer. Celery trying to get out of dodge. Oh, nice.
We'll get glimpsed back, I guess. Nope, never mind. I didn't want to go for that. He definitely could have, but just might want to glimpse the healing salve instead in a moment.
Yep, Quinn showing up. Seb's going to get the Nightmare. Celery takes it off instantly. Tofu making his way over as well as BZM coming to the party. Jingu is going to connect, but the RP onto 3 heroes. Block grenade onto 3 heroes as well, even more important. Seb gets taken out first by Quinn, though. Glimpse out onto him. Gets another Jingu stack, but he falls in the end. 2 for 2. Lots of action early on as Dyrachyo, basically a creep at this level of the game, showing up, tickling everyone. They're laughing their way to the farm as Tofu gets skewered by Whisper, and now Dyrachyo tried to help his team, but he's just going to die again. Can he deny himself on the creeps? No, because he is a creep, and creeps can't deny other creeps Cinderin.
This will do just fine.
Oh boy. I don't know the last time I've seen something like this. Look at the discrepancy. It's a 2,200 net worth win for OG in their off lane. Mag has 5k.
Yeah.
Sniper's 2,700. I mean, if you take that lane out of the picture, it's going fine for Gaiman, but Sniper is not a good comeback hero. This hero is not great at jungling. I mean, you can stack and then shrapnel farm perhaps, but I don't even think those stacks exist yet. They have a double stack of the hard camp at the triangle at the very least. It's not.
There's no Morphling in the game?
Yeah.
Wow.
Tomato's chilling.
Good to know. Ace has also been chilling, we should say. He's top net worth on his team right now. Tomato's going to be spotted by a tree. Quinn. It's going to get adaptive strike off, and the snowball going to be able to connect as well as Ace gets a gush. Tomato in a lot of trouble inside the ice shards, and Quinn getting a very, very valuable kill for Gaiman.
Yeah, nice find. Big rotation, but they got to get something done somewhere else on the map. I think running back bottom non-stop is just a recipe for disaster. So at the very least now you take matters into your own hands a little bit. You will concede the bot tower. Don't know if Tofu should have even shown up here, to be honest. This is going to be another little snack for Whisper.
For Seb. Okay, Whisper.
Yeah, that's Whisper playing the Magnus. Not to be mistaken for Seb, who has probably played more Magnus games than Whisper has lived days in his life. But it is still him playing it nowadays.
That is, there's no way that's actually true, but point taken. Whisper finds a nice skewer onto Ace, gets off a Ravage, hitting 4 heroes with the Wukong's command from Quinn.
That was so
Boundless
close.
Strike, not going to do too much.
Oh boy.
The no kills coming for Gaimin, and now they're going to get initiated on by BZM. Gets off the Magnetize as well. Quinn's ult's about to run out. He's going to take a Brain Sap as a snowball. Focusing on the BZM, but Quinn is going to die. And Celery will be next on the list. OG just waiting out. I mean, that was a beautiful Ravage into Wukong's, but just not enough damage at this stage.
All right, I don't know if you've been paying close attention. What do you think Whisper's KDA is right now?
His KDA?
Yeah.
303.
803.
Okay.
Yeah.
8 kills?
Yeah. He's destroying the entire map with this early game that he just got. So he killed bottom. Now he rotated top and got this big team fight win for his team as well. And that's basically the entire map because mid lane has not been played by anyone in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah,
so,
that's true.
yeah, this is
Impressive.
He is delivering in this game for OG, and he's going to continue to do so unless Gaimin find a way to lock him down. Their heroes aren't particularly good at killing Magnus either. I'll try to find a way onto Step.
Yeah, he's stuck inside the shards. Nightmares will eventually drop to the Boundless Strike. RP, though, finds onto Tofu. So they'll get some sort of collateral, support for support. As BZM kicking Celery towards Tomato. Ari making his way over as well, looking for a glimpse on a more valuable target, but might have to settle for the Tusk. And indeed they will. Quite the difference of game here, I have to say.
Yeah, this is not an easy game to play on Gaming Gladiators, and we've not even unlocked the Fiend script yet, and we haven't seen Static Storm. So there's some big spells yet to come for OG to make it even easier. Nightmare on Nightmare action here. Everybody's asleep. Tofu will take the rune.
That's going to get some backup, though. Roll
he
in,
missed on him.
But Static Storm applied to the Monkey King. Ari finding some very valuable right clicks from below, and Quinn just horribly outnumbered. As now the grip comes online for Seb. Should result into the kill onto Tofu as well. So Gaimin just not able to get anything going for themselves.
Radiant structures are fortified.
And OG really starting to run away with this.
Yeah, Whisper feeling himself straight into the Ags. Coming up next, so we'll have that horn toss available. And I think OG with the realization here that this game is 5-on-4. Sniper cannot be involved in anything, so this is kind of similar to what Gaimin did last game, where they got ahead in the lanes and just started absolutely terrorizing the map against a Void that had no game. This time it's Gaming Gladiators with a carry without a game. This time it's the Sniper, so Mac will just keep running rampant all around the map together with a support duo, finding pick after pick. And realistically speaking, for Gaimin to counterplay this, I think they have to Ravage. I don't know if there's enough in the tank if Ace isn't there. And if you're relying on your Tide to win fights 12 minutes into the game, I've got bad news for you. This hero's slow. It's hard to enforce that type of fight at this level of play. At the very least, they'll find a little skirmish onto Ari, so it's something, but not a particularly impactful kill to find with this big movement they went for. But it's something. I mean, you got to play up here, right? Sniper's just on an island for the next, I don't know how long. Doracho rocking the 0-5-0 scoreline.
Tomato spotted out. Gonna get some backup via BZM. Ravage just barely clips the Morphling, but that's it as BZM has a haste rune, it seems. Gonna try to reinitiate as Whisper making his way over. Gonna focus on the Tide first. He is completely taken out of this fight now, as Ace eventually will drop first for the Gaming Gladiator side. Nice glimpse on the Celery. That should be the second kill going the way of OG.
I like that attempt for BZM as well, by the way. If you noticed, he tried to kick the Tide through the trees to knock down the Monkey King, but didn't find the right trio that could have been even better for the side of OG, but still a major victory.
Well, Maelstrom for Dyrachyo. That's
worth highlighting.
Step number 1.
He is now going to actually start having a little bit of a farming mechanism on his hero.
0, 5, and 0. A lot of viewers in the chat having PTSD with this one.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Snipers in their pubs as the RP finds him. And that'll be death number 6.
Maybe a lot of viewers feeling like they could be a pro. This is how they play snipe. All right, that was unnecessarily rude to Dyrachyo. Because again, this is honestly... Okay, hang on.
Yeah, hold your horses,
Whisper has no time for...
All right, puts Ace on the cliff. Very classic stuff. And the Static Storm now applied to several heroes. You can see Quinn just trying to brush it off. He's going to get snowballed, which actually cancels the grip. And Quinn gets off his Wukong's command. Whisper getting really low, but Nightmare to save him just a little bit. Another skewer, almost clipping all of them. But the damage is enough either way for OG. Ace still stuck up there, that fat, juicy watermelon. Finally, Whisper's reign comes to an end via Dyrachyo's right click. Somehow he does enough damage to kill something other than a creep. It's incredible, in fact, as Ace... This will take a while, but Tomato and company will claim the watermelon. 4 for 1. Rough game for Gaimin.
It is funny to see, though, that this is effectively now... Game 1 was Tomato, this game is Dyrachyo. Just both carries having atrocious conditions in back-to-back games, just on opposite sides. And it is really dictating everything. On the one side, you have OG with a Morphling who's second on net worth and is contributing a lot to these fights, just chasing down kills and having major impact. And the other carry just has to hide in the jungle and try to get back.
Yeah.
And not only that, but the offlane is obviously an incredible difference here with the Magnus getting those 8 kills in the early game. Just able to do this.
Oh my god, that was so close
Whisper
to triple clip.
dies to the assassinate here, otherwise he could have got out of there. Having a good laugh at that. He's like, oh yeah, there's a sniper in the game. 10K!
Yeah.
All right. Well, OG trying to keep us ahead of schedule here.
Apparently. I mean, last game was pretty fast for this patch as well.
It was like, what was it, 38 minutes? It took game in that one. Something like that.
I don't know what the average game time is, but it feels like it's more than that.
OG trying to beat that record in this one.
Yeah, for sure. BZM, all right. Oh my god.
Beautiful.
RP onto 3 heroes. Waveform completely missed it. Ravage to follow from Ace, though. Actually doing a lot of damage. They're going to be able to take out Whisper and the Bane. As you can see, 4 heroes very low for Gaming Gladiators. They try to run away. The Magnetize gets 1, make it 2. And BZM and company able to eventually clean up. It was looking a bit hairy for them, but this net worth lead is no joke. Ace stuck inside the kinetic field. Triple kill for Tomato.
I don't know if you're familiar with this phenomenon in some of your games. Do you know what I mean when I say sometimes everything is so... It's like... It's so perfect that you can't choose which one of the easy solutions you want to go for. And then you overthink it and mess up.
The waveform?
That's what it felt like there. They got a 3-man RP. All the heroes are grouped up. They could just roll in and full Earth Spirit combo them. But then they also could get a perfect skewer and a waveform. And they kind of botched their spells.
Yeah.
Because it was all so perfectly set up by Whisper. But as you said, there was enough of a margin for error here that it didn't end up mattering all that much. But I think OG could have cleaned house there and not lost a single hero with perfect spell casting.
Oh, for sure.
When you hit that big of an RP there, Celery is a goner.
Yes.
I'll delay it.
Snowball into death. As Ace with no Ravage this time. Skewer from Whisper to the high ground. It's going to take a little assassinate action. As he now has the Horn Toss, ladies and gentlemen. The TI-10 special. Used to be the Shard, and used to be literally better as the Shard.
Is that fair to say that's the best shard there's ever been in the game?
That's a tough one. I'd have to think about that for a bit.
I think it probably is.
There might have been.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Well, I would, I'd say the shard for Shadow Demon yesterday that gives you the ult for free is pretty damn good, I would say.
It's still way worse, honestly.
You think so?
The Magnus Shard dictated a TI. Think about that. That's a quite powerful shard.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
I mean, you're probably right.
Is under attack.
Just really have to think about this one. I don't want to commit to anything, Cinderin.
Oh, that's very Cinderin of you. To
I guess you're
go
rubbing
through
off
all
on
of the
me.
options there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, 12k lead for OG. Haven't really looked to go for the old Roche yet. But now that it's on the bottom side of the map, I'm sure they can take that without much of a contest from Gaiman.
Yeah, most likely. I think the item Gaiman are waiting for is Quinn's BKB. It is actually complete now if he TPs back to base, because at the very least, if Monkey King can stand his ground and you can hit a fat RP and then maybe some good shards to keep them in the arena, maybe there's a chance to set up a fight that way. But the BKB is the absolute requirement. Now he's guaranteed to at least be able to stand. If he gets RP'd in the Wukong's command, he can still keep the arena running, because the problem he's had so far is that he's just getting glimpsed out when he ultis, or he's getting skewered out. He's getting kicked out by Earth Spirit, just tons of problems. So now he can stay put when he gets it off. Unfortunately for him, this lines up perfectly with Ahri picking up a Force Staff. So now, well, if you can't kick the Monkey King out of the arena, you can force your teammates out of it. The Aegis in Tomatoes. I was about to say hands. Actually, Morphling does have hands, so that's okay.
Very, very low amount of polygons on those hands. Grip again. This time reserved for Celery. As you can see, the snowball, again, delay the inevitable. So Aegis on the side of OG. Let's see how much they can get with this. And with this kind of a lead this early.
Yeah.
I mean, typically it's second Roche is when you get the racks. This one might be a little earlier. Another glimpse find onto Tofu this time. You were out. Okay. They don't need to layer things at all, Cinderin.
That's all right. Whisper just wants to use his spells. I can appreciate that. He's feeling himself. Ever so quietly, by the way, BZM is 9-0 and 17 on the Earth Spirit, so having a wonderful game on that mid hero as well this time around. Oh, Whisper. Oh, that was not even close. All right. Very good. Did the math. Yeah, I think you're right. High ground is definitely a possibility early in this game, especially because you have Mag with Axe, right? So now you have a way of starting things off with a surprise pick that can snowball the fight. Only needs to be a little bit wary of the telekinesis precast. So if he sees Tofu, it makes it very easy. If he doesn't, well, he needs to be a little bit careful with getting too crazy. But
if Gaiman can just hold on, Cinder, a little bit longer,
then what?
Two of the best high ground defenders in the game.
Sniper and
Tusk. Yes. Correct.
Yeah, Tusk almost has Axe. He just needs 4,140 gold.
Yeah, like I said, they have to hold on for that point.
Ace.
And Ace gets quite low, but will survive. Tomato, though, going to take out Doraccio with ease. Turns into Monkey King. Quinn's going to pop the BKB. Ravage comes through. It's going to be enough to take out Whisper, though, but Quinn ends up dropping anyway. 3 for 1. Make it 4. And Ace, the only survivor for Gaiman, and they're going to start losing some buildings now.
Yeah, Doraccio made the mistake here of trying to deal damage. Got skewered and died instantly. And Whisper here got cancelled mid-RP here by the Ravage. Otherwise, this is just a clean 5-0 fight. But at the very least for OG, they get, or for Game of Gladiators, they get 1 return kill and save their tide. But this is obviously still a terrible result. 4 heroes down, they lose tier 2.
Well, the good news for Game is their death cooldowns are very low, Cinderin, because it's so early in the game. They can actually defend.
I really have rubbed off on you. Old Foxman would have called GG.
I mean, no comment. No comment.
Gotta look at the positives. You won game 1.
Dire are scanning.
That is true.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
As BZM gets an Octarine core, that is a very good item for Earth Spirit.
It's so good on this hero. We don't see this hero played very much right now, especially, I personally do not find it to be a support hero in this patch most of the time. I think this is a core, so I'm very happy to see it played by that as that by OG. But his build is very straightforward and very standard. The Kaya-Sanj Blade Mail Octarine was the build when this hero was a popular mid the last time around. Maybe a Shiva's in there as well. Definitely showing it can still work.
Whisper gonna find the tree.
Radiant's
The
top
Conda
tower is under
there,
attack.
you saw that a little bit earlier from Tomato, doing a ton of damage. Spear Missile applied to Tomato right now. We'll pop the Manta though as Ace,
Oh my God.
gets snowballed, so gonna survive a little bit longer as BZM trying to hound the back line as Ace eventually is dead. Now Celery stuck inside the kinetic field, the illusions basically, okay. The Conda explosion, 41-10, 25 minutes in the game. Grip. And
Set
another
with the
death.
sentry ward for vision.
Yep, easy.
Cute little play there in that corner.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Takes out the cheese taunt. Very lore-friendly taunt for Bane.
Radiant's bottom tower
Everyone knows that
has
he's
fallen.
lactose intolerant, so the nightmare is cheese.
As I've learned
Understandable.
today, for you the nightmare is tea, actually.
Yeah.
You said a sentence I don't think I've heard in my entire life, which was, I hate tea.
Yes.
That's a very uncommon opinion.
Radiant's
I
bottom
think
tower
nobody in
is
chat
under
will
attack.
agree.
Literally no one?
Ah, okay.
There's going to be a few people.
Somebody will say it and not mean it. That's basically internet culture, right?
Okay. I mean, I'm guessing you've never seen Ted Lasso, because the famous line from that show is, tastes like dirty water. And I agree.
Dirty water.
Yeah.
All right.
Great show, by the way.
Well,
Sure
just
you've
like
never
this
even heard
game.
of it. This game is a great show.
Yes, it's a good allegory.
OG,
It is
it
a
is.
good allegory.
Excuse
for-
me?
Okay.
It's a good what?
Allegory.
Is that a word?
Yes.
Allegory?
Yeah. Isn't that a word?
I mean,
Please tell me you're not
your
trolling.
English is actually better than mine, if that's a word. I'm
An
not gonna-
allegory is a story,
Oh,
poem, or picture.
allegory. You didn't say allegory. You said allegory. It's
Is
like,
it an
is that a
allegory?
form of algae? Like, I don't understand.
This game is
Enunciate.
filled with algae. Quinn is in trouble.
It's off the BKB. Boundless Strike. BZM is in a lot of trouble, actually. Gets punched into the air, and down he goes.
Okay. It's the start of something.
A glimmer of hope from Game, and then you do
Yep.
that 10 more times to get back in this game.
Seb.
4 versus 5 now.
Oh, that's a good
Static
oh.
Storm. Is that going to be enough to save Seb as Tomato going to the back line? RP comes in as well. Already 2 dead for Gaiman. Wukong's command is going to be no more thanks to the skewer, but the Ravage there into the double Boundless Strike. Whisper's going to fall. Tomato looks to be next. Gets off the Hurricane Pike. Waveform through. Spirit Vessel still applied as Quinn trying to get some right clicks, but no. He falls first. Tomato triple kill now. Focusing on the Watermelon Man. The Conda applies as well as the buyback from Rubik coming now. Is Tomato on the high ground trying to TP out? Will be fine.
Wow. All right.
Okay.
I mean, valiant effort for Gaiman. The fact that they can even find a draw is very admirable. Just getting that initiation. To be fair, they also got a free kill on Earth Spirit without any OG heroes nearby to protect him, so that was, for all intents and purposes, kind of a 4v5. But they strung something together despite their sniper just more or less getting one-shot by Morphling in that fight. There's still a little bit in the tank with the other spells combining, but the advantage is just borderline insurmountable here. And you'd imagine BZM will not be making this mistake again. Rather, he will be finding a tide and kicking him down to the Waterman.
Oh boy.
Water on water action. Melon versus Polygon, and the Polygon is stronger.
That's right. Well, it's tentacles. versus
Sorry,
Polygon.
you know Polygon's a word, right? Just making sure.
Well, if you
Or do you mean
pronounce it,
Polygon?
yeah, if you're gonna pronounce it like you're having some brain damage issues, then sure.
I said allegory.
No, you said allegory.
Whatever.
It's allegory. Okay.
Whatever, man.
Get it right, Cinderin.
Yep, okay.
Second language English
Yep,
noob.
yeah. A fucking idiot.
Dire's bottom tower is under
Sriracha has a
attack.
Shadow Blade, by the way.
Yeah, it's good. He can run from his responsibilities to carry this game.
Really looking like a pub now.
Yeah.
Sniper
I mean,
feeding, Shadow Blade farming.
there isn't really anything better to do, honestly. I don't mind his item build whatsoever. It's just one of those games. We all have them.
Oh.
Quinn is having one right now as well.
Oh my goodness.
He gets gripped. He is getting very desperate for farm, so we'll start taking risky farm out on the map, leaving the safer farm for the sniper, and somebody's gonna get caught when you're playing in this circumstance. Will
Shadow
be
Blade.
the Monkey King. Yeah, he's trying to...
Oh.
Sep.
That.
Yeah.
That.
They are looking,
Sriracha TP's
and they are
out.
not a finding. Close call, though.
That Shadow Blade really working wonders.
Yeah.
Buy that in your pubs today. You know, that used to be the item. I like how I bring up Dota 1 as if it's even remotely relevant anymore. It's been over a decade. That used to be the item in Dota 1, Cinderin.
Yep.
People have gotten a lot better since
Fun
then.
fact, in Dota 1, this item was actually called Lothar's Edge.
Lothar's. My God.
Lothar.
Lothar.
Yep. Lothar's an allegory for...
You know, if you have a stroke one day, I won't even notice.
This
with all
tea
these
is actually really
pronunciations.
good.
Yeah, that's good.
I'm not surprised you hated it because it's great. Thank you, Kelly.
Is that an allegory for something?
No. We have a tree being glimpsed. He will be KB.
Yes, he will.
I'm not going to let him jump, though.
Gonna get
BZM is on his
blocked.
tail. Okay, he's in there.
He wants to
He's
go in
really
very
in
deep.
there.
My goodness, gets off the magnetize. Already at half HP. RP comes in, hitting several heroes with the skewer into the static storm. And the
Baby.
waveform finishes them off in style. It's going to cost them the life of the Magnus, but that is well worth it. That was a disgusting combo. As Tomato gonna farm the sniper and get the rampage in the fountain. Oh my goodness, this really does feel like a pub.
This might be one of the shortest diebacks I've ever seen. I mean, Seb is just cracking up. I think Dyrachyo bought back and died within 1 second. He bought back while the Morphling was waveforming the tide. So he randomly ended up in the waveform
Like,
and just
oh.
got 3 shots.
A sniper.
Oh no.
Radiant's middle barracks
Well,
has fallen.
Tomato making up for the last game, that's for sure.
yeah, I mean, he's having a good one here. It's 26-1. Well, you're getting some quite ridiculous stat lines in this one, to be fair. Probably going to be the highest kills on a single hero in any game this entire event.
Yeah, quite possibly. Can he get 30,
26.
Cinderin?
Tower has fallen.
Think he's gonna get 30 before this game is over?
It depends if game and
Kick
tap
back.
out.
That
That's
looks
really
like
the
the
limiting
Aghanim
factor.
Scepter now.
Okay, everybody's the stone.
All right, Conda. Another kill for
27.
Tomato. 27.
Radiant's bottom barracks.
Feel like a dart announcer. All right, 27 is actually a very bad round in darts, so maybe not.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
You go for, is 60 the highest?
No, that is 180. It's 3 times 60.
Well, 60. Okay, so there's 3.
Yeah.
You get 3 attempts.
Yep. That's why 27 is very bad.
I see. Very interesting. Thank you for bringing that to my attention.
You're welcome.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Oh, they found him.
Oh, Mr. Monkey
okay.
King. Quinn inside the static storm, gets off the BKB, focusing on Tomato. He gets on the outskirts, though. Double 4 staff, he's fine. As Quinn is not so fine. BZM will drop him real hard. An ace inside that kinetic field. The enchant used on Quinn, who just bought back, trying to have a last stand kind of situation here. BZM, nice nightmare from Seb, as Tomato really wanting those 30 kills. BZM steals one, though, as a pause comes out from Whisper. Okay.
That's a good voice line for this moment.
Some nice line. It's 56-14.
When's the last time you've seen a game with 56 kills?
Yeah.
And this is at 30 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot of records in this game. 27 kills on a single hero, a total of 70 kills minute 33.
A record for what, though?
Most kills per minute.
In what time span?
In Dota.
Ever?
No. But in this tournament, absolutely
Your
most kills per minute.
Well, yeah, in this tournament.
Not even remotely close. It might be most kills per minute in a pro game this year.
Okay.
I think that's
Some good predictions from Cinderin.
It would not surprise me. What is this? Is like 2 point something kills per minute, right? 2.1?
Sure.
2.2 even. Go when ready. And gaming already.
All right, the only interesting thing left is if Tomato will get 30 kills, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be a dieback onto Quinn if he's not careful, and he's not careful. He has died.
Oh, PCM is just not
RP,
giving 2 shits.
Shockwave to follow. Tomato. Oh, that's 29. One more for you, Tomato. Go into the fountain.
Radiant's top barracks
It is a tide. It's going to be a little difficult.
30 bombs are a thing in CS.
Yes, I get them all the time, Cinderin,
Yeah.
in losses. Of course, as Ace is going to get a nice Ravage. He's all alone, though. Skewer back. They're not calling GG. Good sportsmanship
Let him have
from
it.
Game and
Give
trying
him
to
the
give
big
him
old
that
30.
30 bomb. And
Yeah.
it is there. 31-13 for Tomato on this Morphling. Beast mode enabled.
And Gaming Gladiators announced their team name in all chat. And it is over.
It is over. Game number 2 goes to OG. That's a Gaben level shellacking.
That
sure.
was a total stomp. Holy.
Yes.
And who do you even highlight in this? I mean, obviously, in the ultimate result here, it does feel like the first 10 minutes in the bot lane really set the tone for everything. Sniper was a non-factor. The Magnus was enormous. But it all came together. All 3 cores on OG really carried their weight. And the supports on OG, I guess, in this case, probably taking a little bit of a background position, really, because they didn't need to come up with huge plays. They just did their jobs, but it's hard to stand out in a game where Earth Spirit goes 16-1, Morphling goes 30-1, and Magnus skewers more heroes than the enemy team gets kills.
The funny thing is, Whisper started the game out 8-0, right?
Yeah, he went 1-5 after.
Yeah, what a noob.
Laning stage,
oh my goodness.
I mean, he set up absolutely everything for his team. They couldn't have wished for more than that, and that is ridiculous.
All right,
30
so
kills.
the first 30 bomb of the tournament, likely of the year, Tsunami. What do you think, bro? You impressed?
Absolutely, I am, because I think this game was very much an allegory of sorts, much like Plato's cave. You see these figures on the wall of a dwarven sniper roaming around, and you think to yourself, if this hero's so popular, I should be able to first pick it. And yet we find that the reality is far different, Jenkins. This hero's not able to be first picked so brazenly like this. It was just their perception was warped.
Yeah, I mean, in retrospect, sure. We looked at it, we're like, okay, this is ballsy. Like they've got a plan. You know, they're gonna do something with this. I can say Duraccio definitely did have a plan. He was planning to relentlessly feed that game. I mean, that's what happens when you. This is sniper gameplay. This is what happens, especially when you're playing in a side lane where you can't just like hide in the tower. There's all of this open space for them to catch you. OG really put the pressure on him. Like they did not let him have any comeback into the game. And you know, if they didn't, if OG didn't pressure him that much, it wouldn't look that bad. Like it really is like, they made him look bad. It wasn't just Duraccio feeding, which
Sure.
there's a little bit of feeding there, but they just kicked the shit out of him in the lane.
I mean, no matter how badly things go, being able to be alive for 30 frames after buying back, there's only so much you can do, and the man on the screen was probably responsible for a great deal of that Whisper standout performance from him, and OG firing on all cylinders in this game too, Effie. What a performance.
That was one of the most one-sided games we've seen in a really long time. It looked like a pub at so many points, with people being on cliffs, with people just diving as much as they can, non-stop fighting. But honestly, a really great performance out of all 3 of OG's cores. BZM in particular, like we talked about during the draft, how the Monkey King was swapped to mid in order to shut down the Earth Spirit, but you didn't shut down the Earth Spirit. Earth Spirit found his impact by roaming, and Monkey King just couldn't match the rotations. He even had a moment where he kicked. There was like one fight where Ace was stuck on a cliff, I think.
Yes.
And then Monkey King got a good Wukong off where it looked like he could have gotten 2 kills. Then BZM just kicked him out of the Wukong's command and sealed the deal. I mean, everybody played so well on the side of OG.
Yeah, and you really expected it to go better because you're like, okay, Monkey King's going to do good in his lane, Sniper's going to do good in his lane. They did the lane swap thinking like, oh, this will be better for us. But then it just became catastrophic. Once Sniper fed that many times, the game got put in a game state that almost never happens in pro games.
Actually, they shot themselves in the foot because their original lane composition was much better than what they did. Because if you're putting Sniper versus 2 disposition heroes in Magnus and Disruptor, what's he going to do? You're playing in a 2v2 lane, so you're not getting as much experience. You're not in a 1v1 situation where you're out-denying the enemy, which is what people pick Sniper for. He wins lane, he out-CSs. He's playing a 2v2 lane with no mobility, no save versus Glimpse and Skewer. So looking back at it, I'm sure Gaiman feel like they made a huge mistake there, like a huge error in that swap.
Yeah, maybe if the early game goes a little better for them and they can like Tusk Sniper and kill the Disruptor or something like that. But the Bane rotations coming through the portal, Seb did a really good job, showing up and scouting the Sniper with the night vision, like trying to farm the camps. So I can see what they were going for. Like if you are playing into a Mag Disruptor with a Tusk and a Sniper that aren't relentlessly feeding, you can like that lane is going to go one side is going to die a lot.
Sure.
And it's either going to be the disruptor or it's going to be the sniper. And obviously, you would much rather not be on the sniper end of that
as
situation.
we have now exhibited here. Well, it was a lot of repositioning going on in that game number 1, but I know someone, or game number 2, I know someone with a very happy disposition. It's Tomato who's standing by with Slacks.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Tsunami. I am here with Tomato once again. Wow, what an incredible game. That was animalistic, I would say. That was almost bullying. You're in the fountain killing Sniper after he buybacks in half a second. Did you feel bad that game? Do you have any shame at all for what just occurred?
Well, they weren't calling GG, right? So when that's the case, I think you play to kick them out of the game, if that makes sense. Like, we were just going to camp them in the fountain until they called it. I don't know why they didn't call it, but I actually got the sniper by casualty. I think I was aiming for Tusk or something, and then the sniper, he bought back, and then he just died in the same waveform.
Yeah, just a bystander, absolutely decimated. Now, what did you think about when you saw that first pick Sniper? Because, Sniper's a hero that can be countered, as we saw you guys pick like 4 positioning heroes in that game. So, were you guys a little shocked by that, or a little scared? What was the calls there?
Not really, because we got very clapped by the Thompson Sniper for a while.
You're really leaning very far away from me. I'm frightening you or so. Okay, don't worry. There you go.
And then they always play the Sniper mid, super spam pick. Actually, when someone said Sniper mid, someone said, guys, Diracho plays it also. He's been playing it in Pops. And we're like, chill out, bro. Like, we're not that afraid of Sniper. And then Whisper's like, Magnus. And then we're like, you sure, bro? It's like, what about the brew? And it's like, Magnus. And then we're like, okay, well, I mean, I don't know, not so good matchup, huh? And then he's like 6-0, minute 10 or something. It was pretty crazy.
That's some Giga Chat energy. That's how I would imagine that he'd be. Just looks at this computer and says, Magnus, and then it goes for hell yeah. Now, I just noticed something. After your first game, you guys kind of collected yourselves, everybody left, but Whisper stayed. He stayed in his computer just staring at the screen. What do you know what he does? Like, why doesn't he ever go with you guys? Is he just like plotting?
I know, and I think when we lose games like that, I think he's pretty hard on himself. He's very like self-critical. So I think he put a lot of like, I didn't play so well. I could have done better. So he was like, sometimes beating yourself up gives you like this anger to go the next game and kind of unleash it. So I think that's why he also played like that game too. He was just, he took it and then he was just 100% ready to give it.
All right, absolutely. Well, Whisper, you suck, man. Absolutely garbage. Keep playing like that last game, because that was incredible. Thank you so much, Mr. Rampaging Morphling. Nice handshake. Please teach the other players how to do this. And back to you guys.
What a way to channel that kind of energy. That was a quality handshake. It was more the elbow. There we go. Get the hinge. Perfect stuff. You see the motivation?
That was a little quick for my liking. Yeah, let's go slower.
You want to slow it down? Then a little bit faster? And then slow again?
What are we doing here?
We're talking about
You're emulating friendship. Right? Friendship?
Friendship. Unity. Bonds.
Speaking of, I liked seeing Tomato and Whisper's friendship there. Those were high praise from Tomato. But hearing that about Whisper is no surprise to me, because the best players in Dota are often the most self-critical, and the ones who don't ever get complacent and see that they could always be doing better. So hearing that from Tomato made a lot of sense.
Which is crazy to say, because Whisper is so disgustingly good, and he's been revered as like one of the best players in the game for literally years, even when he was in the South American scene. Everybody just saw it. It was very clear. So the fact that he's still grinding is impressive, and I would love to see him on a winning OG team personally. He's wanted it a long time.
Well, the secret to Whisper, spite motivation.
Clearly.
Every Dota player is very spite motivated, but he's spiteful towards himself. That's what I find very interesting. He's like, I'm pissed off with myself, so I'm going to go win the next game. Usually it's spiteful against the opponents or the teammates, but himself, that's a new one. That's new meta.
Recipe for success. You got to have that introspection, because how can you self-love without self-hate? You know? Where's the darkness without the light?
Only by stepping into the darkness can we see the light, Tsunami.
Precisely. Thank you.
Faster.
Friends, I'm sure OG has a lot to prepare for as they are facing off against Heroic in the next series. We, however, will be covering Extreme Gaming against Gaming Gladiators. Problem is, Extreme Gaming still in the middle of their game right now, so you can tune into twitch.tv/ESL_Dota2 Storm if you want to see that. Otherwise, we'll see you in a little bit after Extreme are done for Gaming Gladiators versus Extreme Gaming.
I have been shouting since
Walking alone, the streets are empty. The only thing I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for regrets. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe, trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Ready to explore right up in the sky. I need you to listen, I need you to hear, and don't show any fear. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe, trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. From town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe, trying to protect your soul.
Nightmares creep while you and me repeat. This bittersweet heat is suffocating. I'm waiting and always hesitating. Kryptonite desires set my heart afire. Heart on fire. Set my heart afire. still don't stop that thrill. My bones crave your skin, temptation within, mistakes ignite the silence. Nightmares creep while you and me repeat. This bittersweet heat is suffocating. I'm waiting and always hesitating. Kryptonite desires set my heart afire. Heart on fire. Set my heart afire. Yeah. fire. Feel the waves cut through me, hypnotized by the sounds I'm breathing in. Hold tight, chemicals collide. Hold tight, hold tight, hold tight. Dripping lights paint the skies, all because of you. Dripping lights paint the skies, only you can make me move. You can make me move.
When you want to get off that darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down. Earth from a bird's eye view. You should grow feathers and see this too. When you want to get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down. When you want to get off the darkest ground, gravity pulls you straight down, down. Clear When you want to get off that darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down. Earth from a bird's eye view. You should grow feathers and see this too. When you want to get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down. When you want to get off the darkest ground, gravity pulls you straight down, down. Clear sky. Where am Fill me out with your smile. Now the sunshine brings the light. Fill me out with a flame. I will let you in this game. Take me out where I'm down. 'Cause with you I'm safe and sound. 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 I'm safe and sound.
soul, saving